Welcome, everyone. I don't know if you can hear my music or not. Just getting pumped up. Feel free to boogie with me if you can hear my music.
Like this sugar, baby, we gonna sit for party like this sugar, baby. And you know we don't give a fuck. I don't have to party, yeah. Gotta put it on my street.
All right, hello to those who are jumping on. Now, I know the music, yeah, I just played it through the Facebook group and it's a bit distorted and you can't really hear it properly, but anyway, we will get started. Thank you, everyone, for being on here. It is an honor to see you here. Welcome, Hannah. Welcome, Adele. Welcome, Liz. Welcome, Jay. Hello. Welcome, Stephanie. Hello. Good to see you guys. Throughout the evening, I'm also going to be checking in the Facebook group because I'm live in there as well. And sometimes people will comment on there throughout the time. So I am so excited to be here with you tonight, bringing you this presentation. Let me start the recording. On Saturday, there were a group of people that came and met up with me in Christchurch, and we went through this presentation together, Trust Your Gut, and it was amazing. We had a really, really good time. We had lots of fun, and I thought, because we had so much fun and a really good time, I wanted to bring it to the people who weren't able to make it live, and to the people who don't live in Christchurch and weren't able to be there physically in person as well. So welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. If you're watching on the recording or the replay, welcome as well. My name is Anna. I'm a holistic gut health coach, and I am here to bring you a different perspective on gut health that you may not have seen or heard about before, or heard about it in this way. I personally believe that in life, we're 2023, we can literally become anything that we want, and we can use our life experience to create anything that we want. So the teachings that I'm going to learn, the teachers I'm going to teach you tonight, are going to be based on my past experience that I've gone through with healing my gut myself. Some of it may not make sense to you. Some of it may seem a bit foreign and seem a bit weird. But I don't follow a particular rule book. I don't follow a particular system or anything. I kind of just create my own thing and put it out there, and just allow whatever is that I need to share, I will just share it. And there's not really as much of a filter on me as what there used to be, now that I no longer fear being seen. So we're going to be throughout the night. If you have any questions or any comments or feedback or anything, put them into the Zoom chat. And if you're watching on Facebook as well, put it into the comments there so I can see and go through it when I do check that. The presentation was an in-person one, so some of the slides will be related to then, but I will relate it to you guys online, and we will be having a few challenges and a few games and prizes and stuff as well throughout the night as well. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to get started with this presentation, and let's do this thing. Awesome. Oh, by the way, guys, let me know in the chat while I'm finding my share screen button in the right slide. Let me know where you're tuning in from. So where are you in the world? Are you in a different country other than New Zealand? Are you somewhere else? Let me know where you are tuning in from, just so I can kind of see where everyone is from. Here we go. Your share screen is loading. Okay. Can we see that? If you want a thumbs up, if we can see that, Adele, I can see. Yep, awesome. Cool. Just to make sure that everyone can actually see my screen, okay? Awesome. I'm just checking the chat as well. We've got Napier, Wellington. Hi, Rachel. We've got Christchurch, and we've got Christchurch as well. So we're all New Zealand based at the moment, which is awesome. It is just past 7:30 our time here. If you're watching from somewhere else, it might be a different time. But if you do need to leave earlier, then that's completely fine. The recording and the replay will be there for you as well. So welcome to the Trust Your Gut event. The whole idea and outcome of this is to really help encourage you and teach you how to trust your gut more often. Because we are so bombarded in a day and age in life, in society, where we have a lot of information available. We have a lot of diets, a lot of teachings, a lot of different things that you can do to help heal and grow and change and evolve and adapt. And there's a lot of stuff, and we can often get into overwhelm. And the whole idea of this here is I want you to just trust what's best for you, even though it may not be what everyone else is doing, and it may not make sense to anyone else, and it logically may just be like, this is really weird, but it just feels right. This is about trusting that gut instinct that we have and that intuition, and really trusting it and growing it so it's stronger, so that no matter what information you're presented with, you are okay no matter what. You no longer go into overwhelm and like, what shall I do? Like, am I doing it wrong? You no longer lead with guilt and fear. You lead with faith and trust in yourself and your ability to know what's best with you. So throughout this presentation, I will share my own personal journey and experience and opinion. You can choose and take whatever you want from it that resonates with you, and you can leave whatever you feel doesn't resonate with you. That's why I feel so just energized and pumped up and amazing sharing this, because I'm not wronging anybody, and we're not getting wrong. We're not making anyone wrong for any of this information. It's not a school teacher standing up here saying you've got to get an A in your test and you've got to get it right, otherwise you're going to fail. This is all just presenting information and seeing whether this lands with you or resonates with you, or maybe it's something to put in the maybe basket for in the future. So I'm going to start with a bit of the agenda of what we're going to be going through. So this is the program for tonight. I don't know how long it's going to go for, because when it comes to time, I don't like to be like, oh, I've got to keep it under an hour. And then when I present, I'm like trying to keep it under an hour. I'm just going to let it flow. Whatever happens is going to happen. If you need to leave early, that is completely fine. I understand. So this is what we're going to be going through. I'm going to go through a bit of my story first and let you know like where I've been in my journey and where I am currently today. We're going to go through the gut-brain connection, which is really, really powerful. Something that I had no clue about when I had my gut issues. We're going to go through different diets, food labels. We're going to talk about meat and dairy. We're going to talk about oils, vitamin supplements, the sun. And then we've got some really, really powerful, these ones are more inner work. We've got identity shifting, and we're going to do a visualization as well with this. I also have another one that is called forgiveness that I added in like last minute, which isn't on here. And that's going to be a really, really powerful process that we're going to go through tonight as well. And then at the end, I'll talk about my Renewing the Mind and Body program. If you feel called to working with me and taking this further, then you can come on board with me there, and I can chat a bit more about what that's going to look like. All right. My story. Here we go. So by the way, does anyone recommend these? Does anyone recognize these horrible eczema creams here? Has anyone used them or know someone who's used them? Those creams were pretty much like I remember using them in the fatty creams and the tubs of eczema creams and all of the different creams from the doctor pretty much ever since I was a baby and I was a child. So I had eczema ever since I can remember, from a baby right through till I healed it when I was about 4 years ago, so 25, 26. And I was a gymnast growing up. So I was super fit and healthy and still am. And I had abs and muscles, and I just looked like incredibly healthy. And the thing is that I really thought I was, because physically my body was really fit looking. But the thing is that underneath that fit body and the gymnastics and winning all the medals and everything and being a really high achiever, I was actually suffering with irritable bowel syndrome, eczema, hay fever, really, really bad period pains that would leave me in so much pain. I would curl up in a ball and I would take tramadol and then take some pain relief for the first few days of each month just to make the pain go away. And as I would lie there, I remembered just thinking like, why is being a woman so painful? Like, is this all it is? Is this really all it is? Being a woman and having to be in so much pain. Like, I hated it. I hated being a woman. I hated having a period. I was like, this sucks. I'd rather be a man. This is annoying. And I honestly didn't think that there was anything else I could do. I would go to my doctor and my doctor would say, you just try a different medication. Like, we can only really manage period pains. We can't heal them or make them go away. We just have to manage what we've got at the moment here and just keep you feeling okay that you're surviving. And so same with my irritable bowel syndrome. I would keep going back to the doctor and I said to her, I'm in so much pain. My gut is really sore. It feels like knives are cutting inside my intestines. What do I do? And she would change me onto a different medication instead and give me new pain relief and antibiotics, anti-inflammatories. And I had a whole drawer full of all of these different pills. My medication drawer was way bigger than what my fruit and vegetable drawer was. It was huge, and my fruit and veggie drawer was very, very small. There wasn't many of those, but there was a lot of pharmaceuticals that I took, mostly from the ages of 18 to 23 was when it was really, really bad and quite severe for me. And so because I was in this system where I didn't believe I could heal, and I didn't believe that it was possible for things to get better for me. I just kept working on being okay and surviving. Now, the thing is that I'm going to mention a little bit about this, and maybe it's going to come out throughout the rest of tonight, but when it comes to our healthcare system and the medical professionals, my mum is a nurse, my nana is a nurse, I have an auntie who is a midwife. I love them dearly, and I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, feel like our doctors and our nurses are very overworked, but they're doing the best that they can. They're doing the best that they can, and I feel like they have a genuine, heartfelt intent to help people and to make sure that they're okay. I just now see a different perspective of it. I see that the way that they are trained in the system, we've gone so far away from how can we create health in our body, and we're just treating disease. How can we manage the disease and just manage it and manage the symptoms, rather than how can we actually create health in the body? How can we heal this? Because it's come into the body somehow. It's manifested, illness, sickness, and disease manifests into our body somehow, which means that if it can come in, and it's come in by things happening slowly over time, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, then it's like, well, how come we can't slowly undo what we did as well? So I have huge belief now in our body being able to heal, just because of what I have been through and my experience with healing my gut issues. And my hay fever as well is another one that was so severe. I would go through a whole box of tissues in a day, and I would dread springtime, and I'd hate being outside in spring, and I would just stay indoors, and I was so sniffly. And I used to work at a supermarket, and people would come to my checkout, and I would be crying, and they'd be asking, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Why are you sad? And I said, I'm not sad. I just have hay fever, and these flowers that the supermarket are selling are just killing me and making me feel horrible. So I would try a different hay fever tablet, the Loriclear, the Telfast, the Razine, all of the different nasal sprays. I would try a different one, and I had huge belief that they were actually going to heal me. I thought, surely my next hay fever tablet, this is going to be the one. This next nasal spray, this next pill, this is what's going to help heal me. If there was another way, surely my doctor would have told me by now. Surely someone would have told me that there's another way to heal my body. Surely I've been putting up with this for 5 years. I've been in and out of the doctors. I've been in and out of hospital with such severe pain. My lab tests were fine. My results were okay. My bloods always came back, and I was told, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. You're absolutely healthy. And I was still suffering these severe symptoms, thinking like, this just doesn't make sense. How come my test results say that they're fine and nothing shows up as anything abnormal, but I'm in crippling pain, and I have all of these symptoms, and I feel horrible? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And now I see that until someone has a diagnosis of something, you're pretty much left to your own devices. Like, well, when it gets bad enough that you get a diagnosis, then that's when it's official, when we'll kind of see what we can do with treatment. But until then, you can go with all of these symptoms and be like, the doctor will just say, there's not much you can kind of do about it. Just take some pain relief. It's like, oh my goodness, there are so many things we can do about it. And this isn't every single doctor. It's not every single one. There are some out there that are looking for the root cause and really want to see what's going on in the body and the mind, and see what stress is coming up, and see what's going on with you emotionally as well. There are some doctors that will take the time and ask and see what's really going on. But as a general whole, the quick consultations of just, what's wrong, here's medication, done. Like, it's not working for us. People are miserable, people are sick, and it doesn't need to keep going on like this. So I'm so passionate about sharing this mission of healthy living, and to help inspire people and give that little hope, that little glimmer of belief inside themselves that their body is actually capable of healing, and they don't need to keep putting up with feeling miserable all of the time. So moving on to the gut-brain connection, I'm just going to check the chat now, because I realized it was up the top and I didn't see it coming through. Oh my gosh, yes, me too. Yeah, I'm just seeing Hannah and Rachel said yes. So let's talk a little bit about the gut-brain connection now. So when I talk about the gut in general, our digestive system or our digestive tract or our gastrointestinal, our GI tract, there's a few different names for it, but basically it's this whole system here is what our gut is. So some people don't really understand, like, what is gut health? What does that mean? We've heard about it and we see work on your gut health and be healthy with your gut. And it's like, some people don't really know what that means. It's simple. All it is it's this system here. It's what's going through the system, the food that you're eating, but also I'm going to talk a little bit more about this as well, is the quality of the system. So that's going to come down to also the stress that you may be under emotionally or mentally that can affect the system, and the food, the quality of food that you're putting in the system as well, but also looking at the system itself and the stress it may be under. So this system here is incredible. We don't need to do anything for all of it to digest and work. We just need to put the food in and chew it and swallow it, and it does it all for us, which is incredible. Our body is absolutely amazing. It is incredible. But the thing is that though, our gut and our brain is always talking to each other. So there is a nerve called a vagus nerve, which connects directly between your gut and your brain, which means that what your brain is telling your gut is basically how it's going to be digesting your food. Some of this we're not aware of, some of it is subconscious. So we have a subconscious mind and a conscious mind. And our subconscious mind is 95% of our mind is subconscious. So we're not actually aware of it. So that part of our mind is like when we dream. When we go to sleep and when we dream, we don't actually control our dream. We can't do anything about it. We can't change, like it's our mind playing images for us when we're asleep. Our conscious mind, which is only 5% of what we do, is we're aware of what we do. We know what we do, we know our habits and we know our behaviors and we're aware of it. Which means that if you've got 95% of things going on in your brain and it hasn't been brought to your awareness, your brain is probably going to be telling your digestive system to not be able to digest and absorb nutrients effectively, which is called malabsorption, when your body isn't able to absorb nutrients effectively. How that can happen is that if you are someone, and I feel like this is all of us to some degree, we've had some kind of control or trauma or negative experience with food. Maybe we were force-fed peas and broccoli and carrots and made to sit at the dinner table until we ate it. Moments like that, our nervous system is in fight or flight. It's in shock. I can just feel it as a kid now. Like, it was a horrible feeling sitting at the dinner table when you're not allowed to get off the chair and go until you eat this meal that you don't want to eat. You have no desire to eat. And so your body's just reacting. It's your nervous system is in high alert and you're freaking out. You feel so unsafe. You don't feel good. And you've got to eat the peas and the carrots or whatever it was that your parents made you eat that you just dreaded. And then we take that into our adult life, maybe not consciously, maybe we're not aware of it. Maybe we're like, oh yeah, I've moved through that. That was ages ago. Obviously, like, it's not coming up now. But the thing is that it may be, and you may not be aware of it. It could be in your subconscious mind, which is like a computer or program playing in the background without you fully being completely aware of what's going on. So that's why when it comes to food intolerances, it's not always the food itself. It's not always that a broccoli is bad. I know it's not ideal spraying a broccoli with glyphosate and weed killer and genetically modifying it. That's not going to be good for your gut either. The food industry genetically modifying food is not going to be good for it either. But the thing is that if you have some kind of negative experience with the broccoli and your mum cooked broccoli, or maybe she was in the kitchen and whenever she cooked broccoli, that's maybe when your parents argued. If you have some kind of stored negative experience with food when you were a child, maybe you don't remember exactly what happened, but your body remembers the feeling of it. then food intolerances can actually occur from that happening. And then we like, oh, broccoli's bad, onions bad, garlic's bad, and then we cut all of these things out, and then we've barely got anything left to eat. And we're living such a restrictive life and cutting out all these foods, and we're miserable, and we're waiting and hoping that we'll eventually be able to tolerate more foods. But we feel like we're on this hamster wheel trying to get by cutting out more foods. But then the more you cut out, the more miserable you are. And the more you add in, the more your gut flares up. And it's like, what do I do? And so I encourage you with this gut-brain connection to really bring to your awareness, if you can, if there's anything that you have with the food that you are intolerant to. And I don't mean, so I mean like it might be gluten or dairy, or it could be broccoli or onions or garlic or a specific food. If you are intolerant to a certain food, then think about, is there any kind of negative experience that may be going on with your gut brain? It may not be, it may just be that the wheat is really low quality, it's been genetically modified and it's not as good quality. It may be that as well. But this is something just to really think about and consider, that it's not always the food itself, but the system that it's going through. And also, if you have any past trauma or stress around food, then that may be coming up. Like if you grow up in a household where your mum was always on a diet, the Atkins diet, and she always shamed her body, and she just always thought that she wasn't good enough and she's fat. And if you were around that, your little brain growing up would have been programmed with those same beliefs about your body, even though it was your mum, even though you weren't saying it. It's the environment that we're around when we're actually raised and growing up that can contribute to who we are today. So those are some things that maybe to think about or have awareness around, that you've done nothing wrong. We haven't done anything wrong. We were raised by parents who did the best that they could based on how they were raised. And if we've got a bit of negative experiences and a negative cycle and trauma coming through the generations, then all that means is something to be aware of and think of, how can I make a different change? How can I do something differently and make a different decision so I don't carry on passing this on to my children as well? Because our environment is powerful. We pick up so many things without us even really realizing. So that's I'm just jumping in the chat here. That's the gut brain connection there. It is so real, it is so strong. It is something that I wasn't really aware of as I was going through my gut issues. And when I had my biggest irritable bowel syndrome flare-ups, it was actually, I kind of recently thought about this, it wasn't so much about what I ate, that was a part of it, a massive part of it, but my big IBS flare-ups happened when I was in conflict with my dad, or with an ex-boyfriend, or with a friend, or with someone online. Whenever I was in conflict and I felt so angry, I felt like this area here, I just felt these stabbing pains. It felt like there was a knife cutting through all of my organs and my intestines here. But it was when I was in conflict and I was angry and I felt out of control, that was the biggest times where I had my flare-ups. And so that's something to really be aware of, is when pain is coming up, when you feel like your body's inflamed and you're not feeling okay, is it the food that you're eating, or is there something else going on in your life that is maybe flaring it up as well? So the next slide, love it when I'm pushing the button and it is not going to the next slide. Let's try that again. Here we go. So what I'm going to do with this here, we're going to type into the chat, because this was obviously done in person and not how we are now. What I want you to do, because around 90% of doctors' visits are stress related, yet medication first tends to be unfortunately a common approach. So what I want you to do is put into the chat, or I'll check Facebook as well and see if anyone's commented in the Facebook group. What I want you to do is, if you want to share with us, what do you feel is the biggest stress or resistance coming up in your life right now? Is it your finances? Is it the cost of living? Is it inflation? Is it recession? Is it your mortgage going up? Is it your job? Is it your intimate relationship with your hubby or your wife? Is it your kids? What do you feel is the biggest stress coming up for you right now? And also, what do you feel your next step would be with it? So I'm going to just check the Facebook group and see if anybody has put anything in there now, but feel free to put in the chat anything that you want to share of what you feel is coming up for you. And I will check and see. We've got, can relate to that. Our bodies are always signaling something to us. So amazing. Yeah, totally. For me, it's pain around liver and pancreas. Okay, so we've got finances and relationship coming up. Finances, finding balance, time management, financial and family, finding work-life balance. Awesome. So it's really good to be honest with these kinds of things, because if we're not, then we're probably just gonna take in another, we'll be drawn to more of the quick fix things. What I used to do was that when I was stressed, something happened at work, or I was having an argument with somebody online and I felt like I wasn't okay and I wasn't in control, I would reach straight for sugar. I'd reach for lollies. And that's what made me feel really good. That was my comforter. That was my safe place, is eating all of this candy, eating so much of it that I would feel sick and then take pain relief so that I could feel better again. And that was a cycle that I did for a very long time, pretty much mostly through my 20s, teenage years, probably for almost a good 10 years, age 15 to maybe 25. I did that. I lived in that cycle of eating a lot of candy, but I thought that there was nothing of it. And I now realize that it's not always the food that's bad. Like, it's not always that it's the chocolate Tim Tams that are out to get you, and that it's the bag of M&Ms that are evil and they are trying to destroy your being. It's not that. That's what it is. It's that when we don't address the stress that's actually going on underneath, why we are grabbing the bag of M&Ms and feeling guilty later on, why we're not having awareness around why we're doing that in the first place, then that's when we can really open up and start to get a bit more of a clear picture of why we are emotionally eating, or why we are binge eating, or what's going on with our relationship with food and why we don't have that healthy relationship with food. So when the relationship with food isn't healthy, and it's not always the food itself. So I encourage you to, if you're thinking about a particular food that you're like, oh, I hate that food because I eat a lot of it, that's quite surface level stuff. If we were to go down a bit deeper, why do you hate that food? What's going on? Why are you eating so much of it that you feel guilty, or you attach a guilt to it? What's going on in your life? And where this is resistance, I like this word resistance, because sometimes stress, people can be like, no, I'm not stressed, because stress may look like you're obviously, it's got to look like you're crazy, but stress is actually something that we can't always see on people. It's something that happens internally. But resistance, where are you procrastinating in life, or resisting, or not wanting to do, or not wanting to deal with, or not wanting to face? That's where we can have food that can be that safe place and that comfort. And it's not that the food is all bad and evil, but why we are reaching for it and what we really want. So what I like to say to my clients is, I say, what is it that you really want? Do you really want to eat the M&Ms or the ice cream? Because if you really do want to eat it, allow yourself to eat it. Go and eat it. If there's no guilt attached to it, go and eat it, because you're mindfully doing it and you're conscious of it. You don't have to fully cut out all your favorite foods for the rest of your life and make yourself miserable. But there's something a bit deeper going on. What do you really want right now? And sometimes I have to get them to do some breathing and just to relax and think about it, because when we go, I don't know what I want, and we're like headless chickens, it's like, okay, we do know what we want, but we've got to actually get in the mind frame, in the mindset where the oxygen is flowing around to our brain and we're feeling calm. When you're feeling calm, you're more likely to think of, what do I really want? Do I need to just go to bed earlier because I'm just exhausted? Do I need a massage? Do I need to go book a massage? Do I need a hug? Do I need to go and talk to a loved one who I haven't talked to in a while because I'm really missing them? Do I need to just go and allow myself to just sit down and watch a Netflix series? And like, is that what you are really, really wanting? If that's what you're wanting, then dig a bit deeper with that and see what's actually really going on and what you want. Because sometimes the food can be something that is our safe haven because we don't want to actually deal with what's really going on underneath. And it's like that quick fix and that quick hit of we feel good and then we feel guilty later on. Let me just jump back into the chat again. Address the cause, not the symptoms. Yeah, exactly. That's true. I like thinking of it like a tree. You can see the tree on the outside, on the surface, but you can't see the roots. When we're just looking at the tree, we're like, oh, okay, just do another diet and keep trying and use your willpower. It's like willpower. That's such surface level stuff. What's going on in the roots of the tree? That's the deep stuff. Willpower is only going to last so long. Rachel, you have to go now. That's okay. Looking forward to watching the recording. Awesome. Thank you for being on, Rachel. This is good. When I was in an abusive marriage, I used to just eat anything on hand, mainly chocolate and chips because it made me feel more in control. Yeah, totally. Thank you for sharing that, because I honestly feel like it's the way we eat makes a difference. If we're to enjoy some chocolate and some chips on a Saturday night or have fun and be at a party and we allow ourselves to do that, we're in a completely different state of mind compared to when we're doing it because we're wanting to avoid something. See how there's a difference there? It's not that you got to cut out all the chips and chocolate forever because they're the bad thing. It's what's going on when I'm reaching for the chocolate and the chips. What kind of state am I in that moment there? Am I aware and conscious of what I'm doing and mindful, or am I wanting to avoid not feeling a feeling that is really uncomfortable? Let's okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a bit of a game, a challenge. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down, you can put it in the chat if you want, but you can write it down next to you because you're probably going to get anywhere between 10 to 30. I want you to write down, I'll give you 2 minutes, all of the names of the different diets you can think of, all of just crazy ones. You can make them up if you want, and then there'll be a prize for the winner who gets the most. If you live in Christchurch, it can be a dozen of eggs. If you're somewhere else, I'll post you something else, some complete sachets of the powder that I use. I'll do that. I'll post it somewhere else in New Zealand for the prize instead. So I'm going to put 2 minutes on the timer. And let's get started. Put some music on as well. So all of the different diets that you can think of. Let's start. So write them all down. 2 minutes has started. Let's put a bit of a timer here. Here we go. So writing down all the names of the different diets you've ever heard of. Then we're going to tally them up afterwards. All right, we've got another 1 minute left. So I know I did say put them in the chat, but I feel like if you put them in the chat, then other people can take that one as well and add it to their list. I just thought of that. Maybe not do that if you already have, that's okay. So that we can come up with our own ones and see what we have Think of diets that you heard when you're a child as well, ones that were really weird and crazy. All of the different diets. All right, last 10 seconds. Finishing up. All right, I want you to add up the number of diets that you got and put the number in the chat, and then we'll go through specifically what the names of the diets are that you came up with. So when you've added them up, put them in the chat so we can see what is coming up. So we've had Adele, Liz, and Stephanie write their numbers in. We've had Ariana. Who else do we need to have? Jade. Don't know if you did it or not. If you want to put your number in the chat so I can see what you came up with. Okay. Adele had 8, Liz had 6, Stephanie had 12, Ariana had 11, Liz said, whoops, 7. Okay, we will leave it there because Jade, I feel like you can be like, oh, I'm going to put that I got 20 and I'll win the prizes. So I'll share my screen and show you what I had here. All right, here are the different diets. Are there any ones here that people, share them in the chat if you came up with other ones that aren't on the list here. My favorite one is the seafood diet here. I see food and I eat it. That's just a random made up one. So I said that there are no rules for this. You can just make them up. They can just be as silly as you want. I don't like living by a rule book and having a set of rules. You could just make up anything that you wanted. Soup diet, cool. That's one that I didn't have here. Oh, cabbage soup diet, I feel like was one that used to be a thing. Are there any other ones that people wrote down that aren't on this list here? So the reason why we are talking about diets now, let me just check the Facebook group again once again to see that there are no comments or questions on here. So the reason why I wanted to talk about diets is because I have seen many different ways of healing the gut and healing the body through different diets. I personally, and you don't have to agree with me, I personally believe that there is no one diet that fits everyone, that everyone is going to thrive off. Yes, Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers. Yep, definitely. I don't consider vegan as a diet, more so lifestyle. Yeah, exactly. If you believe it's more of a, if it's not a diet, more a lifestyle, then awesome. Atkins, yeah, that one's on here, but Atkins, that's one that I remember hearing a lot as a child. That was a really common one around probably the 90s when I grew up, was the Atkins one. When it comes to diets, you've got to eat in a way that feels good. Now, it's not always going to feel good. It may be challenging at times. So I'm not talking about like airy fairy life is amazing. I have no challenges. I never have anything. Like there's going to be challenges come up from time to time, no matter what you do. That's just a part of life. But you've got to find a way that suits you and works for you. There are people out there saying that everyone has to try keto, like everyone, it's going to work for everyone. And it may work for millions of people in the world. But there are some people that will be like, it's just not for me. I'm not even gonna I don't like the idea of cutting out carbs, and I don't like cutting out certain food groups, and I just don't really like that. Or especially if people have a negative association with food or eating disorders, it's not a good idea for someone to go on a diet and focus on cutting out food groups. It's more so we need to just eat any food and get any food into you that we can. So that's why I don't believe that any one of these are going to heal your gut more than the other. It's more so how you're feeling about it and your lifestyle and your stress levels alongside doing this diet as well. Because in 2020, for example, you may have been super stressed then and had a lot going on and just felt like you weren't coping. And maybe you went to try being vegetarian then, and it didn't work for you and it just wasn't helping. But say 2023, now you're thriving, you're feeling amazing, and your stress levels are really low and you're feeling a lot better. You try the same diet again, and maybe the same diet is feeling way better for you now than what it was before. So timing can be everything as well, depending on what phase of life that you are actually at, whether you have children, how old those children are can affect what you're going to eat as well. And I don't like making any of these right or wrong, more so how does it feel to you? So when I healed my IBS and healed my gut issues, I went through a lot of different diets. It was basically like a bit of plant-based. I cut out gluten, I cut out dairy. I went, mainly whole foods, and it was cutting out sugar and cutting out different things, and even going a little bit vegetarian with not eating as much meat. Like I tried a lot of different ways of eating. And the intention of me trying those diets wasn't because of curiosity, like, hey, I wonder what this is gonna, because I love that if you want to challenge or you want to try a new diet, that's amazing. But the intention was more so coming from a place of I wanted to be fixed, and I felt like there was something always wrong, and I would feel guilty quite often. Guilt and diets don't really last long. They're not sustainable. Most people end up doing diets or 10-day challenges or diets, but if there's guilt attached to it, it's not sustainable, because there's no way you can keep going on with something when you're feeling guilty for it and your body's telling you, no, this is not safe, and your nervous system is in fight or flight, and it's constantly feeling like it's in a state of stress and not okay. So even with things like elimination diet and FODMAPs, when you're cutting out sometimes onion and garlic, it doesn't mean that this is going to work for everyone's gut and this is the way to go. Cutting out dairy doesn't mean that it's going to heal your gut and your acne and your eczema. I did cut out dairy for a little bit because a few years ago when I ate dairy, I found that it would make my eczema flare up, and my acne would come back as well when I ate or drank dairy. Now I eat it almost every day and I don't get any eczema or acne flare-ups because I've healed my gut and my body can actually tolerate dairy more than what it used to. So on your healing journey and on my healing journey, it's the foods that you eat may flare it up until you heal. I feel like the main idea or outcome for gut health, for healing ourselves, is to be able to tolerate all foods, whether we choose to eat them or not. So being able to travel the world and going and trying different foods and eating anything you like off the menu and choosing and making that conscious decision to eat what you like because your gut can tolerate it. When it can't, then, we get in situations, and if you're someone that has a really restrictive diet, you know how it feels when you're out at a restaurant with friends or you're out for your birthday and you have to check everything on the menu and you have to ask the chef and everything, like, what's in this and is it going to, and when you do it, it's sometimes like, oh, it's not fun doing it. It can be a bit like, oh, I just feel like I'm a bit of a pain. So when it comes to things like that, when we do heal our gut, you will be able to tolerate more foods and then bring more joy into eating, because when you can eat anything in front of you, no matter what it is, then life does feel a lot better, even if you choose not to. If it's available to you and you can eat it, Yeah, if you're someone that can eat anything with no intolerances, it definitely is a really, really good feeling in a society, in a world where I feel like most people have at least one intolerance to something. If you can eat anything and be fine, then that's a pretty kind of good place to get to, whether you decide to eat it or not. Being able to tolerate it is definitely a good thing and a bonus. Potato reset. Oh, is that the name of another diet? Shakes, Herbalife shakes, starch solution, liver clean, Herbalife liver cleans. Yeah, so there's different diets that are out there, but basically, like, if you guys want to put in the chat as well, what diet do you eat in a specific way, or do you have a lifestyle that you eat at the moment? I'd love to know what you currently do eat and why. Like, what is the reason why you like eating gluten-free, or you like being on a fasting diet, intermittent fasting? That's another thing as well. This fasting thing here, it's been a bit, I've seen two sides to this fasting thing. I've seen it work amazing for women and their hormones, and they're feeling amazing. And I've also seen that the fasting research that was done on men, and men and women's hormones, we're different. We're not the same. Men's hormones are like with the sun. They wake up and their hormones are relatively, like, on a biochemical level, they're relatively kind of like this, and then they go down with the sun. Women, ours are with the moon, 28-day cycle. Our hormones are like this. We know it. We feel it. All of us, we feel it at times. We're like, why am I like this? And then I'm like this. What's wrong with me? It's because we are made and designed like that, for our hormones to do that and adjust, so that we can create and bring life into this world. And I feel like when I was talking about before, with me hating being a woman and hating period pains, it was really hard to really hate who you are and try and not be it. Whereas now I'm like, oh my goodness, I love being a woman. I love tracking my cycle. I love seeing what's going on with my body. When I have a day where I wake up and I just feel low, I love checking in and seeing, what do I really need? Like, is this really a hustle grind day, or is this a day just to be really slow and listening to my body and not needing to just go, push all the time? I love doing it now. Whereas I used to just be like, trying to live like a man, how come their hormones are more steady than ours, and how come they're different? It's because we're designed differently, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and there's nothing wrong with it. When we try and go against being a woman, and that's when it can be really, really depleting and energy draining. Adele, I do intermittent fasting. Awesome. Liz, I eat a lot of Mediterranean style food, not as a diet. I just love the cuisine. I lived there for many years. Yeah, so that's another thing. I've traveled Europe as well, and it was just incredible. When you immerse yourself in a culture, it can make you be like, I just love to eat this way. Stephanie, vegetarian. I thrive on plant-based, so would like to reduce my dairy again. Awesome. So exactly, whether you eat dairy or you don't, I'm just like, whatever you choose. I was not eating much dairy 3 years ago, and now I am. And who knows? I might go back to cutting it down, cutting it out, whatever. I'm open for whatever. It doesn't have to look a certain way when you are eating and having a particular diet. So, food labels. All right, let's talk about food labels now. When it comes to food labels, this is another thing. I love learning about food labels and what is in our food. Now, coming from a place of curiosity rather than, I'm eating the wrong thing, or I didn't realize that was in there, like I'm bad, or I'm not eating good. When you wrong yourself, you put yourself and your body in a state of stress, and that can, no matter how, I've worked with women who have eaten so clean and so healthy, and they still have symptoms come up because their body's in a state of stress. It's not what they're eating, it's how they're eating and how their body is coping and what it's doing while they're eating. So when it comes to food labels, I love changing the story that I tell myself from, it's just so overwhelming, I always get it wrong with the food labels, to how about I'm curious to see what's in my food, and is there anything that I might want to switch up? Can you see how it's a completely different energy when you're wronging yourself and like, oh, it's so overwhelming with all these different things, to let me just see what's in my food and let me just see if there's anything that I might want to make some tweaks to. Now, I've got a couple of things here. When it comes to like dried fruit and nuts, I look for just the nut itself without anything added into it. So for example, I've got a bag of almonds here, and there's also a bag of cashew nuts. Now, they're not organic. Like, yes, you can, sometimes it's not available in the supermarket and you have to go elsewhere. Sometimes you can't get organic in every store. But these ones here, why I like these ones is because on the back of the packet, it's just whole natural almonds, 100%. And these ones here are cashew nuts, 100%. Now, I do like to have sea salt sometimes with my nuts. I don't always have them unsalted, but I do like to have salt as well. But the thing is that why I get these is because they don't have any seed oils in them, which I'll talk about this soon. Canola oil, vegetable oil, cottonseed oil. They also don't have, there are two main preservatives that I see in a lot of dried fruit and nuts, which is preservative 220 and 202. And they are synthetic, and they are quite inflammatory to the gut, those preservatives. So when you add a preservative into the nut or the fruit here to preserve it, it basically can affect your gut health from having synthetic and toxic additives added into foods. So I like to just look for foods that I can recognize. I think of like, if I was a 5-year-old child and I wanted really simple, easy foods that I know exactly what they are apple, porridge, oats, banana. They're like single word ingredient names. They're not like, they don't have 15 different words on them, and then you're like, what the heck is this 20-letter long name? They're simple and easy to read. So I like to look for simple and easy ingredient lists that I can recognize, and it doesn't look like it's just a chemical science experiment. And when it comes to dried fruit as well, so I get dried fruit for my daughter. This brand here, the ingredients is just mangoes. It says on here just mangoes, nothing else. So there's no additives or preservatives added to it. They've just dried the mango up, and that's all it is. So I do like this brand. It's called Nibblish, that I like to get. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to organic food and food that is preservative and additive free, you will tend to have to pay a little bit more for it, which I feel is really unfair for our people who are in poverty and are poor and are struggling financially. The quality of the food that they're going to be getting is not going to be as good compared to the ones that are a higher price and the organic stuff. So that's something that I definitely want to see change in my lifetime, because I just don't think it's fair that they are the ones who are struggling with getting quality food in. So yeah, I just look for really simple and easy ingredients to read when it comes to food labels. Does anyone want to put anything in the chat with what they've maybe learned about food labels, or any experience they've had, or anything you wanted to add about this food label conversation here? Because this is something that I wasn't aware of in the past, and I thought I would just look on the front. High protein, great, that must mean it's good, and I would consume that. But then now I look on the back, I'm like, oh, it's high protein, great, but then what's that protein made out of, and why are there 20 ingredients in there? What does this one mean? And you have to Google them. If you have to Google and find out what a really long scientific word is, I take that as an indicator as, you know, it's not a real natural food, unless it's a plant name. Plant names that can be really long, quite scientific. Unless it's a plant name, then yeah, go for more real whole foods, closer to its natural state, and less processed. I feel is best when it comes to that. Let me just bring up the chat. So yeah, if anyone wanted to add anything about food labels there, then feel free to pop that in the chat, or if you have any questions as well, because this was quite a brief one. Okay, meat and dairy. Now we're going to put in the chat instead of sharing with the person next to you, unless you have somebody sitting with you in the room. I want you to put into the chat, and we talked a little bit kind of about meat and dairy before with the diets. Let me know if you eat meat and dairy or if you don't, and the reason why you choose to, or the reason why you choose not to, because I feel like this, and it doesn't need to be, like, it really doesn't need to be a controversial topic that like gets people fired up and heated. Like, it really doesn't need to. Some people choose to eat meat and some people don't, and some people choose to eat dairy and some people don't. It's not always the food. It can sometimes be the experience they've had with the food. When I was pregnant, the thought of cooking meat, like when I would cook meat when I was pregnant, all I saw was just dead cow pieces. It was disgusting. I felt like I was going to vomit. I got put off meat when I was pregnant. The meat didn't change. It was me that changed. So I just allowed myself to you know, oh, you got to get your iron up, and you got to, we tell pregnant women, like, you've got to do this. And it's like, yes, we know we've got to eat healthy. We're growing a bubba. We know that. But when you tell us that you have to eat more meat and iron, and we're like so overwhelmed, like our body will know and give us the right things that we need. If you get put off meat or feel sick or barely want to eat anything, then that's our body telling us something. The more we're like wronged for it, it's hard. We get resistance. So I feel like it's more so just being open about these conversations and being like, hey, yeah, I do, or no, I don't, and not needing to agree with people's reasons, but more so just seeing a different perspective rather than completely shutting it off. Vegans are bad, meat eaters, you're horrible, evil people. It's like, do we really need to label each other these labels? Can we not just have vegans and meat eaters together, just living life like, hey, this is how I choose to eat, it works for me. If you want to eat a different way, then fine. We don't have to be in constant battle with each other of who's right and who's wrong when it comes to these things. I'm really fussy with meat, not too fond of dairy, but I love a yummy cheese toasty and Milo. Love that. Adele, I love meat, I limit my dairy and don't feel that great when I have a lot of dairy. Good. Some people, like, the more dairy is good for you, and calcium, yeah, some people have that in their guts, like, oh no, we're not doing that. So if your gut's not liking it, then you don't have to force yourself to eat something that you really don't want to. Okay, so add anything else if anyone wants to add anything else in the there's another comment that's come through. I choose not to eat animals, and the science behind eating meat leads me away from it. I feel the same about dairy, however, started eating it again. However, I have no issue when others eat it, as that's their choice. Also, exactly. That's a really good point, Stephanie, I want to bring up as well and start this conversation off with meat and dairy. When it comes to research, or when it comes to science around meat and dairy, is it good, is it bad, should you eat it, should you not? And I don't like to should all over you. It's like, here's some information that can help you make a decision, but it doesn't mean that that's how it has to be for you, and that's final. So when it comes to meat, I've seen both. I've seen science says you got to eat meat, you got to get your iron, you got to, like, this is how it is, you've got to eat it. And I've also seen some posts come up from, I follow like functional medicine doctors and nurses and naturopaths and dietitians and people who look for the root cause, like those kinds of people. I follow them a lot on Instagram, and some of them say that there are research papers here that say that meat is not good for you, and some say that it is. And I'm just like looking at it, and I feel like it can be quite conflicting. That this is my opinion and my take on it. When it comes to meat, if you are a meat eater and you do choose to eat meat, my husband is a hunter, so we got a deer, kind of creepy. We have a deer just sitting here in our spare room here, and it's usually on the wall in the lounge, but we're painting the wall, so it's just there. I think it's a bit creepy, but my husband's a hunter, so we get our meat fresh because he's a hunter. It's pretty good quality. When you eat your meat when you're a hunter compared to the supermarket, you can kind of taste a bit of a difference there. I believe that processed meat, so more so like the ham or the salami or the meat that's gone through a process, I feel like that can be more harmful to the gut because it's not as close to its natural state, and it's not as clean and fresh as being a hunter and getting it for yourself and knowing exactly what's in it. When we have these meat packages and we have meat and dairy in the supermarket and it's like 70% beef or 60% pork, and then there are other things in it as well, I feel like you can add other stuff to the meat, but then it completely takes the quality away from it. And I feel like if you study that and you go study this meat here and it's not a quality meat, or it's not grass-fed beef, or the cow has been under a lot of stress, that can actually make a difference, because we know as humans, our body and our skin and everything, it changes if we are in a lot of stress compared to if we're not. So the same can happen with animals as well. If a cow is in a lot of stress and it's not treated right, and there are some countries, not our beautiful New Zealand, our farmers, I believe, are not like this, but I've traveled Southeast Asia and I've seen the animals, they sell them on the street and they're in the hot sun all day, and it's just horrible. That would put a lot of stress on the animal. And when you have stress in your cells, that's going to completely change the quality of the meat when you are in a really, really stressful. So when you are looking for meat, if you do eat meat, more so look at the quality of it. So grass-fed beef, as opposed to some countries do grain-fed beef. When I traveled to Egypt, I went to a restaurant one time, and the guy was, trying to sell me, oh, you can have a beautiful piece of grass-fed beef. And I was like, oh, we're from New Zealand, like our cows fed grass, we have space for that. He goes, whoa, what? And he was amazed. He was like, tell me more about that. In Egypt, like, well, we have our cows fed grain here. And so I was telling him about, we only have like 4-5 million people in New Zealand, and we have a lot of farmland, and there's a lot of grass here. And he was amazed, like, wow, I've got to come and visit. And so that was just a cultural difference there, is their cows in some countries are fed grains and they aren't grazed in grass and in paddocks, and maybe might not have a lot of space and be in a different environment compared to here in New Zealand. We have more space and we don't have a huge population of people here, so that's going to affect the quality of the meat and the animals with that as well. And also, which I'll talk about after soon, with the seed oils, like when you cook your meat, if you cook it in like vegetable oil or canola oil, I'll show you soon how it's made and how it's processed, that can affect the quality of the meat as well. And I feel like when you do studies on meat, how you cook it and how it's made and the quality of the animal that is with the meat as well is important, because our ancestors have lived off meat and dairy for however long. And I feel like now, since we've started processing the meat and we've changed more things and it's not as good quality, it can maybe cause more gut issues with people compared to maybe what it was, and just environmental changes over time with that as well. Let me just go through the chat. You can taste the difference with home cool. Yeah, you definitely can. Totally agree. This is about me and how I feel when I eat it, not others, each to their own. My husband also hunts and was a butcher and lived on the farm. I have no judgment. Yeah, I feel like it's I personally don't know that many male vegetarians or vegans. I mean, you guys might, but I don't really know of many. I have to really think about it, because I feel like it can be like a pride thing, men, you have to eat meat, and it's a bit of like that's who they are, so they may be a bit more of that. And I feel like, hey, just if they want to be like that, and that's fine. Not let's not take that away from them unless they are choosing to really not want meat. I never buy meat from a supermarket. Don't want to know what they do to it. Yeah, exactly. It can be a completely different, well, you don't know how it's made, I guess, the process when it has come from a supermarket. Taking on that animal's trauma. Yeah, definitely. If animals have been through huge stress and trauma, man, that's just gonna affect the quality of it big time. Jade, oh no, I definitely did not win the diets challenge. I eat meat and dairy as a wifey of a beef and lamb farmer, we get most of our own meat. Went off cow's milk for a few years, but still ate cheese and yogurt, but currently using full cream milk at 7 months pregnant. I don't eat pig just because I can't stand any of that. I don't really have any food intolerances apart from spicy food, mushrooms, and certain foods due to texture more than anything. Awesome. Thanks, Jade, for sharing that. I'm glad you are good to see you in the chat now and that you're home. Liz, I eat as I feel. Some days no meat, some days meat, some days cheese. I've been lactose intolerant for years, but healing. Yeah, that's a really, really good point, Liz. I feel like with well, it could be men as well, but for women, because I know how it feels, some days we just feel like different things. Some days we may feel like eating a lot of food and we're really hungry, and other days not. And I feel like listen to that. Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that if you're going to eat more or different food on different days, because we have a cycle that is, you know, or even if you don't have a cycle at the moment, or you don't anymore, then we still have hormonal fluctuations and we can feel like different foods at different times, and it doesn't need to mean anything bad about us whatsoever. Apparently our palm oil is really bad too. Yeah, that's I've heard about that with I traveled to Singapore, I think it was, they were doing donations for palm oil places with the zoos and stuff. They cut down I think it's monkeys or orangutans homes. It's an environmental thing I've heard with palm oil as well. Bad as killing animals where farmed. Yeah, let's pray for a better future. Yeah, totally. Halal meats are good. Yep, I've heard of that. So true. I can happily go without meat in a meal and crave a bowl of veggies or a nice salad. I'm post-menopause, also finding intolerances less. Awesome. I love this. I love that we can just, you know, 5 years ago, if any of this would have come up, I would have been like, Liz, you're wrong for that. Whoa, Jade, why are you doing that? You know, Stephanie, you've got to, I would wrong you guys, because that's how I've been in the health and fitness industry for over 10 years. And a lot of it, like some of you have experienced it with other coaches, it's about looking at what's wrong in your diet and looking at finding guilt and shame and looking at what's wrong and what doesn't make sense. And it's like we're always updating our phones, right? Which means life is updating our tastes and our tolerances, and we're always changing and updating. So I feel like there's no one size fits all, and this is the one way to do it. And then wronging people who don't do it like that. It's more so, hey, if you find a way that's good for you, then that's great, and use other people to kind of, if you want to get inspiration, but not wrong them because they may have a completely different experience or life situation going on than what you currently do. I was weird. We are ever evolving beings. Yeah, we totally are. I'm loving what you were doing. I changed my diet in my early 20s to heal eczema and endo. Yeah, exactly. Like there will be some particular diets for healing specific diseases. And like if you want to try it, like I never say don't diet. I'm like, if you want to try it, go for it. Like get curious. And if you really want to, sometimes you've got to try it to find out that you didn't like it and it sucked. Coming from being a really fussy child, my taste buds have definitely evolved into adulthood. Yeah, I have a daughter now. She's 19 months old, and I'm just learning about all of you parents who have raised children, about the whole world of eating. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like it's crazy, right? But I feel that my generation and all of us have been raised with very controlling ways of eating. And with her, I think of like, well, how if I was sitting at the table and I was introduced to new food and I'm a 1-year-old, I don't know the world. I'm just exploring. I don't know what I'm doing, what my purpose is. I'm only one. I can't even talk properly. I'm barely walking properly. I'm always like, if I'm a 1-year-old and I'm sitting at the table, like, how do I want to be treated? I'm like, well, I don't want to be forced and pushed and have food shoved down my throat. And I don't want to be controlled and told me being wrong for not liking foods. My 14-year-old is now controlling his diet. Yeah, I don't want to wrong, everything. So now I'm trying to take that on. But then there are times, being completely honest, where my childhood comes up and I'm like, Isabella, you have to eat your food. I'll give you a smack. And I'm like, oh, I catch myself and I'm like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. I know when it comes up, but it's hard when it's ingrained in you. And when you're raised with the father who was in the army, it's really hard to unlearn these patterns. And I admit that sometimes I'm like, I raise my voice, or I'll be like, you have to eat that, otherwise. And I think I'm like, otherwise what? Otherwise what, Anna? What if she doesn't eat it? I'm like, shit. It's me being controlling. What if she didn't eat it right now? Nothing happens. Give her some Weet-Bix. Give her, like, it doesn't need to be a whole big thing of like, we make these stories up in our head of like, if you don't eat this, then you're a bad child, and then I'm a bad parent, and then I feel guilty. It's like, what if we just didn't create any meaning of it? My child ate my peas tonight, great. Tomorrow night, she doesn't like them. Doesn't mean anything. She's just different on different days. Us women, we go through a cycle. We're different on different days. Tonight, we want a hug from our hubby. And tomorrow, we're like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Stay away. It's we've just got to just go with it sometimes and not try and force and resist everything and try and battle ourselves. Liz, cereal for dinner is great. I've learned as a parent to just let go and sometimes be like, I'm allowing my daughter, to have Weet-Bix for dinner because she's not wanting anything. I gave her all these foods. I'm like, here's chicken, she didn't want to eat it. She ate Weet-Bix, she ate the whole thing. I'm like, let it go. She does not need to have food shoved down her throat. She ate Weet-Bix, and then letting it go and being like, oh my gosh, I actually allowed her just to have Weet-Bix for dinner. Doesn't mean anything. I'm not a bad parent. She's not going to, be nutritionally deficient from having Weet-Bix for dinner like twice a month. Of course she's not. So these stories that we make up about ourselves about, we're bad, we're wrong. It's like, when we just let it go, it can completely change everything. So basically, yeah, I talked a little bit about meat, but when it comes to dairy as well, another thing I wanted to talk about was I did cut out milk a few years ago, and that's only because I was told that it was cow pus. That it was, you don't drink milk because if you drink milk, you're a baby cow. So I'm like, I don't want to be a baby cow. I'm a grown-ass woman. And so have we not all had a bowl of cereal for dinner at least once in our adult life? Yes. Even every now and then I'm like, I think like maybe porridge for breakfast for me will be good. Just got to release and let go. Have cereal for dinner every now and then. It's not every night, definitely not, but a couple times a month, it's like cereal for dinner. Who cares? So what? So with the dairy thing, yeah, I was told, it's bad, and it's cow pus, and it's bad for your hormones, and it's not good for us to drink dairy because you can get acne and eczema, and it can screw with your hormones, and it's really bad for your health. And so I was listening to that a lot, and so my beliefs were changing about milk. And so because I had that programmed into me, it was like, dairy's bad, it's bad. So I'm like, okay, it's bad. So because I'm having this belief, so belief is a thought that has been conditioned over time. And because I have these beliefs coming up about dairy being bad, my actions are now focusing on being anti-dairy. And so I would have oat milk and almond milk and everything like that. But I didn't realize that with some of the nut milks, I didn't really look at the ingredients in the back of them and see that they had added stuff to them. I didn't know. I'm like, surely almond milk is just almonds and water. Some of them aren't just almonds and water. They have other preservatives added to them, and I didn't know. So even though I was like, dairy's bad, I didn't know how to read food labels then. So I'd have a $1, $2 bottle of nut milk, not actually realizing that it had other additives in it as well. And so when it comes to dairy, like the milk that I drink now, it's a organic, non-homogenized one from the supermarket. But with dairy, now I know it's not common like it used to be, but some people have been able to tolerate raw dairy straight from the cow better than the supermarket stuff. And here's why. The supermarket milk, they heat treat it to kill the bugs, the bacteria from the cow. But when you heat treat it, you're actually killing off an enzyme in the milk that you need to help digest the milk and not get such a sore gut. So some people who drink milk from supermarket, just a normal Pam's $3 bottle of milk, $4 bottle of milk, may find that they get gut flare-ups, or children might get gut flare-ups, or they might get acne or eczema or psoriasis or hives, or they might get rashes and have flare-ups from drinking this milk. And it may not be the milk itself, it might be, but it may not be the milk itself. It may be that it's been processed and heat treated, and the way that it's been done, then that's what's causing the gut flare-ups. And some people have switched to like A2 milk, which is a different kind of enzyme, different protein with that there, which is they've been able to tolerate it a bit better. And some people have raw milk and they've been okay with that there because it's straight from the cow. But then, of course, with raw milk, it's like, the health of the cow. You don't want to drink raw milk, and your cow's been on antibiotics and medicine and in a stressful environment. You know, you got stressful cows, you got to get a milkshake. You know, it's going to not be quite good quality milk because the cow's shaking and it's stressed, and that's going to affect the quality of the milk as well. So I feel like if you know where it comes from, then that's going to make a difference compared to if it's more processed. And that might be why you may be, or your child might be having reactions to dairy if it's the supermarket stuff. Have you tried the home delivery from Aylesbury Dairy Farm? No, I haven't, but I have heard of it before. Someone recently told me about that as well. I haven't had raw milk for, I can't even remember, a very, 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 very long time. So I do want to try it again. It's just, it's not like, we can't just get it from the shops, unfortunately. So straight from a farm, Aylesbury Dairy Farm, I have heard of that one before, and getting some milk from there instead. But basically, if you want to drink milk and you want to drink cheese and your gut says it's fine, it's okay. Or sometimes for people, they can have a little bit, and then too much, it's not as good for them. Then just go with your gut. Trust your gut with how it's feeling, with the meat and the dairy and the cheese and the eggs and butter and everything, and go with whatever you feel is best for you. Now, okay, so I'm going to talk about oils. This is what I was talking about a few slides back when it comes to oils, cooking oils, salad oils. So if this here is vegetable oil, and this is the process that it goes through. So vegetable, canola oil, they are in a lot of things, a lot of salad dressings and mayonnaises and packaged stuff. They are in a lot of things. I used to think vegetable oil was made from vegetables and it was healthy. I thought you just get the oil straight from a vegetable. So I would choose foods that had vegetable oil in it because I thought, yes, I'm getting my 5+ a day. I had no idea. I had to go and look up the stuff myself because we don't get told this from the normal mainstream media, of course, because that's not what they teach or talk about. And so I found out this when I just Googled it and looked and was like, holy moly. So they get it from it's a plant, it's a seed, and they ground it down, and then it is oil seed meal, steam cooked, and then there's a solvent added to it as well. Crude oil, and by the way, vegetable oil, canola oil used to be used as an engine lubricant as well. I found out. It's like, I don't know if I want to be eating that. The oil is heated with steam, and then there's water and acid mixed into the oil, and then there's a soda mixed in with it, and then the oil is washed with water and dried, and then it's bleached. I got to this part, I was like, no way. What? Do we really allow food to be on the shelf that's bleached? Apparently so. So they bleach it, but then they filter it, and then to remove the bleaching agent, and then it's washed in steam, and then it's done. And these oils will be in like a clear plastic bottle, and the solvent, which is down the bottom in really small writing, the solvent that they clean it in is called hexane. And I had a little bit of search up on that, and I was like, what is hexane? It's like an industrial degreaser. So here I'm like, man, there's huge red flags for all of this stuff here. Like, what is going on? And when it comes to oils, when you heat treat an oil, just like when I said with the dairy and the milk and stuff before, when you heat treat something, you're killing off the nutrients from it. And so these oils here are heat treated, unless there is a brand in New Zealand called the good oil, and some of them might say like cold pressed sesame or cold pressed sunflower. That's a completely different process than all of this here. So when an oil is cold pressed, extra virgin, they take it directly from the plant, the seed, and they press the oil out of it, and that's it. It's when they do this, that's when they strip the nutrients of it. So the processing that it's going through is what matters compared to this part here of it's a plant or it's a seed. No, there's not much kind of to it here that bad. It comes from something that grows in the ground, but it's all of this that can completely change the quality of the oil there. So when you tried that vegetable from supermarket oil, yeah, so when you get oils, I like to look for this one here is the one that I like to get. This is an organic one. You can get organic if you want, otherwise if you don't worry about organic then don't. I like to get this one here, and these ones are cold pressed directly from the food, from the fruit, olives, avocado, and coconut as well. Also, there's like butter and ghee, which is like a sort of like a butter, and then tallow and lard are animal fats. So these are like your animal fats here that you can cook with as well. And also the bottle that it comes in. So you can see here this olive oil here is in like a dark glass bottle here, so the light's not going to affect it, and it's in glass rather than plastic as well, so it's kept at a more high quality as opposed to a light plastic bottle. Now unfortunately, going back to the financial situation of some people, when it comes to oils, this oil here is about $14. When you get a vegetable oil that same size, it could be $3, $4, and it has like a 4-star health rating on it as well, which is something that people don't know, that those health star ratings are put on by the government, and they don't always mean that they are healthy. And to do a little bit more research and digging into it than just looking at the health star ratings. And so let me know in the chat like what oils you guys like to use, and this isn't to wrong you or anything. Hey, if you use canola and vegetable oil, then great, like that's fine. If you own it and you use it, then that's okay. But this is more so like getting curious about what else is out there, and what do I really want, and is there another one that I can try or switch to, because you will pay more for this than what you will for these heat treated oils that go through that huge process. Amazing, isn't it? You just cold press an oil directly straight from a seed, and then you pay like 3-4 times the amount of it compared to when you go through this whole entire 10-step process here, and you pay like a few bucks for it. Like it's just crazy, isn't it? And around I think it was the 80s, before my time, there was a bit of a kind of paradigm shift that happened with vegetable and canola oil came in, and butter started to be demonized. You know, you got to go low fat. The butter is high fat, it's bad, it's high cholesterol, and it can give you high blood pressure and cause heart attacks. Well, it didn't used to, but all of a sudden it does. And then now they're bringing in vegetable oil and saying that's heart healthy, but then they've bleached it, and it's like, some big corporations are making some big money here from getting us to have the heart healthy vegetable oil with the bleach in it and the washed in the hexane solvent, and something's a bit fishy. But if you're someone that doesn't know all of this stuff or know about it, and you only get your information from one source, you're going to have no idea about this, and you're going to be like me, like I did. You're going to be having your vegetable oil and cooking in it and being like, man, I'm so healthy, getting my 5+ a day. Let me look through the same as when you boil tap water, the stuff they put in it isn't supposed to be heated, and if heated causes other toxic chemicals as well. Exactly. As a chef, I always use olive oil, avocado, coconut oil, and butter. Now butter is good again. Yes, Liz, it is. I've been the people that I follow on Instagram, the naturopaths and the doctors who have come away from the healthcare system and become functional medicine doctors. They are like going for butter. They're like, butter is great, grass-fed butter, that's just butter. Because sometimes if you look on the back of it, it's like healthy butter, and then you've got like vegetable oil added to it, and you've got like preservative added to it, and you're like, we just want the butter. So I personally, I'm a butter lover. I've started eating butter again probably in the last year. That's another thing that I was believed that was bad and demonized. I brought into the butter is bad. The butter causes high cholesterol, heart attacks, bad health diseases and stuff. I brought into that. Now I don't. I'm like, no, I don't buy into the butter thing. We've had butter around for how long? Hundreds of years, like so long we've had butter, and now it's bad. And vegetable oil is apparently heart healthy. I'm like, seeing some red flags come up. So when you start becoming aware of the stuff and you start questioning the what's going on, you start being like, oh, okay, there's something dodgy going on here. Like something's not right. My father once asked me why I use butter. I said, because I know how to make it. I love that you know how to make that. That's really, really cool. One day I'll I'll have a desire of wanting to make butter. I'll be the mum who cooks and bakes at home and make my own butter and stuff. But for now, I don't have that desire to do that. So at the stage that I'm currently in my life, take week-old cream and add a pinch of salt and whip butter. Yum. Well, that sounds really easy. I literally, before you said you made butter, overwhelmed it and was like, it's so hard. Is that all it is? Okay, that sounds really easy. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Liz. You are you're a chef, so thank you for being here with your incredible chef knowledge and sharing that with us. All right, next one. Oh, here we go. Vitamins and supplements. Now, when it comes to vitamins and supplements, just like the food industry, the vitamin and supplement industry isn't very highly regulated. There are a lot of cheap synthetic toxic vitamins that can be allowed in, and they aren't doing much good to your body. Now, there is a documentary called, I'll put it in the chat, it's called Vitamania, that I watched, which was really good, and it was basically showing what the vitamin industry is about and how it's not very highly regulated, and pretty much a lot of things can get put through when it comes to vitamins and supplements. And I'm not saying that all vitamins bad, all of them are, and you should never take them. I'm not saying that at all, because I definitely am a huge fan, and I do believe at times it can be necessary to supplement your diet if for whatever reason. But if you are told to, I would ask a few more questions. Like if your doctor says, hey, you've got low iron, take those little brown tablets, I would just ask more questions like, what is this tablet? What is it made out of? And is it researched? And how do I know if it's going to work in my body? And why do I need these tablets? Is this like real whole foods, or is this synthetic? I would just ask more questions if your doctor is recommending a supplement or something to go on. And we obviously know the answer of it. Like pharmaceuticals aren't like made from nature. We know they're not. So they're gonna say it's not made from nature. So you can use that as an indicator for whether you want to consume it or not. So when it comes to natural and synthetic vitamins, so here we've got down here, there are vitamins that are made from nature. Like for example, vitamin C is good for your immune system and to help stop you from getting sick is often, and to recover from sickness a bit faster. So when it comes to vitamin C, you get it from an orange, right? When we get vitamins, they're from food. That's where we get them from. You don't get a vitamin from petroleum, like they're synthetic. If you do, you get it from real food, from nature. That's where you get it from. And so when it comes to vitamin C, if you're taking like a vitamin C tablet, you want to make sure that there's an orange in it, because they can take a component of an orange and make it up in a lab and make a synthetic version of it, which then makes it toxic in your body. And it's not a real orange. You're taking like a copy of an orange rather than a real orange itself. So what I usually encourage people with vitamins and supplements is I say, look, with whatever you're taking, whatever you decide to take, just do a bit more digging or research, like find out, ask yourself, why am I taking this? Why do I need to take it? Do I need to take it? And how is it made? Do I know how it's made? Have I seen evidence or videos of how it's made? Has it been researched? Has the vitamin that I take been researched in the body? Has it been tested on humans? And what has it gone through to get to where it is? Because with the vitamin C, what they can do is they can get a bit tricky when it comes, a bit clever when it comes to the vitamin and supplement industry, and say vitamin C comes from an orange, and the benefits of oranges are amazing for you, but then the pill or the tablet that the vitamin C is in with the orange, how do we know that it doesn't counteract the effectiveness of the vitamin C with the other ingredients in it as well? That's why I like to ask more questions. Go to the company of the vitamins that you take and go and email them and go and call them and ask, because I like to ask things and say, hey, the vitamin C that you say it's vitamin C is from orange, it's really healthy, it's really good for us, as we know, but there are other ingredients in this as well. Can you tell me what those other ingredients are? And do you know that the vitamin C is still effective with those other ingredients in it as well? And it's not counteracting each other and making it ineffective and just taking a toxic vitamin that's not going to do anything for me and just flushing my money down the toilet. So I just get curious when it comes to things like this, and just do a bit more digging and see exactly where they come from and how they're made, because just like the food industry, the vitamin and supplement industry, you can get, from a supermarket, a $10 bottle of vitamins, and you may think that they are healthy and doing you good, but you may not realize that if you realized how they were made in a lab, and they aren't made from real food, or they're synthetic, then they could be doing your body more harm than good in itself. So does anyone want to add anything else to this chat here about vitamins and supplements? Feel free to put that in the chat if you take anything, or if you have found out anything about what you take and maybe you no longer take it, or you've switched, or some other good brands, because they can be really helpful and really, really beneficial when they are taken and they are high quality. Just like food can heal us. Food has the power to completely change our life and well-being, but food can also do the opposite. It can make us sick. So it's how it's made, and if we have awareness around this, then we can also take this in with vitamins as well, and not say that they're all wrong or bad, but more so see exactly how they're made, so we know whether we're actually getting healthier with these supplements, or if they are keeping us from getting healthier. Curious, I've just started multivitamins again, but seem to pee it out. Yeah, I was just about to say that. You must have just read my mind. With vitamins, if you get bright yellowy, disco-y, it can be that it's just going straight through and your body's not absorbing the nutrients, and it can be it's not bioavailable. So bioavailable means that your body absorbs the nutrients and takes it all in. If it doesn't recognize it, so if you're putting a synthetic, let's say vitamin C tablet into your body, right? It's synthetic, and they've taken an orange, but they've processed it so much that it's not no longer really a real orange. The body's going to be like, what is this thing? It's not real food. I don't really recognize it, and it's not going to be able to absorb much, because it's like, I don't know what this is, and it's just going to pee it out. So if you get bright yellow wee, that may be a sign that your vitamins are not bioavailable, or not absorbing properly, and not a high quality, and not real from real food. They are maybe a synthetic version. I've been taking nutrient rescue shots for a while and love them, sticking to them. Dehydrated greens and berries. Yeah, nutrient rescue I've seen is really good. If you like the taste of having that, is really good as well. So there are a lot of good brands out there that are amazing and are the real food, and there are some that are just not that great. But unfortunately, with the money thing again, some people, and this was me, I look at here's a $10 vitamin from the supermarket, and I looked at it and went, oh wow, that's it's healthy for my immune system. Oh, it's only $10. Well, I'm going to get that. And I'd take it and not realize that I had no idea how it was made or what was in it. I just looked at it and it was like, oh, healthy boost of health. Okay, great. I need that. And I saw it was cheap. And yeah, now I know that cheap vitamins aren't always going to mean that they are good for you. So shot it back. Yeah, shot it back. Awesome. So going back to this one here. So these are the ones that I take here, Juice Plus. I've been on them for 6 years now. And the reason why I like them is because they are a food label. So when you look at the back, you just see the names of the foods of all of these. It doesn't say, orange. It doesn't say vitamin C. It's like it's got the real orange in it and it's got the real food in it. So I take these every day, and there are also fruit and veggie gummies as well, kids gummies, these ones here, which can come free with an adult order, which I absolutely love. So these are them here. They are, where's the camera? That way. That's the fruit one. And they're sweetened with plant sweeteners, and they're low processed. So that's another thing when it comes to kids gummies as well. When you're at the supermarket looking for kids gummies, read the labels and see, these are the vegetable ones. They taste like candy. See the labels and see what's actually in them and find out, because you may be giving your kids pretty much just candy. You may just be giving them lollies, and it may not be as good for them as what you maybe think it is. So have a look at the kids' vitamins and see what they are and what the ingredients are in them. But I love those ones. And of course, the kids' gummies, like they've got to sweeten them somehow. Otherwise, they're going to just taste like trash. So they do have sugarcane and stevia in them from a plant, but it hasn't gone through a huge process. They are low processed and kept more closer to its natural state. And they have all of the beautiful fruits and veggies in them that are in the capsules here. The kids get them in the gummies as well. So if you, wanted to get some of those, you can message me afterwards and let me know. And I'd be more than happy to help you start on these. I mean, these are what I was taking when I went through my gut healing process. So I'm a huge fan of them and what they've done for me, because they're real food. And yeah. All right, let's talk about the sun. Now, the sun has been at times demonized. Let me just check Facebook to see if anyone has put in any comments, because I haven't looked for a while. There are a few comments on Facebook. Just give me a sec while I just check them. Awesome. So there's no questions, just some statements come through on Facebook. Yeah. So the sun. When it comes to the sun, I've seen it demonized at times. Like, the sun is bad. Stay out of the sun. Here's one. The sun causes cancer. The sun causes cancer. The sun, that's been around for, depends on how long you believe the Earth has been around for, thousands of years, all of a sudden is bad and causes cancer. Okay, so what's going on? Does the sun actually cause cancer? Here's what I believe when it comes to the sun. I believe that the sun is amazing for us and really, really good, and we need to be getting sun as often as we can, but not sitting and baking in it for hours and hours and hours a day and burning ourselves to a blister. This photo down here was like a hospital in Switzerland. They used to put their patients in the sun to help heal them, because the sun can help heal you. They don't do that anymore in our current kind of healthcare system. And sunscreens, if you look at the ingredients on sunscreens, they are, a lot of them are quite toxic and synthetic. Petroleum derived, made from petrol. So what do you think happens when you put petrol on your skin and you go out in the sun? You're gonna get burnt. So I like to say, if you are going to use sunblock and you are going to be out for a while, find a natural sunblock, find one with zinc oxide in it, and the ingredients with it being ones like coconut oil or jojoba oil or shea butter or plant ingredients that you can recognize, rather than the ones that are more synthetic and quite harsh and toxic to the skin. The Cancer Society sunblock, the Banana Boat, the Nivea, the Dove, if they do sunblock, the other, pretty much the supermarket sunblocks. If you look at the ingredients of them, just look them up and Google them. You'll be like, what? How is this even allowed in our skincare? Also, the quality of your skin matters as well. If you have more of a high processed diet or eat a lot of seed oils, like we talked about before with the vegetable and canola oil, that could make you burn a bit more as well. Stress can make our skin, the quality of our skin depends on what we eat and our stress levels and our lifestyle and our sleep and everything. And so if your skin isn't as good or high of a quality because it's been under a lot of stress, then you can be more susceptible for getting burnt. So that's why the sun is the whole holistic approach of the diet, the lifestyle, the mindset, everything when it comes to the sun as well. Now, if you are somebody that does burn really easily and you do want to get a little bit of sun, find the times of the day, like get the morning or the afternoon sun where it's not as harsh. And also, just like if you were to run a marathon and you barely can even run, you're going to end up getting burnt. Your body's not going to handle running a marathon if you can't even run down to the street, end of the street and back again. So don't just put yourself out in the sun and be like, oh yeah, apparently it's good for me, so I'm just going to sit in it all day. And it's not, we're not doing that because your body's not used to it and your body is going to burn. So you want to do slow little increments of it at a time to get your body used to the sun. And also with the sunblock as well, having a look at what you're putting on your skin is going to matter as well when it comes to the sun, because our plants need sun. We need sun. We need sun to grow. We need sun and we need water. And we've had a lot of artificial light come in because of phones and technology and stuff like that. And look, we're looking at artificial light right now. And when you compare it to natural light, it's completely different with your moods and your brain and your focus and your clarity when you're getting more of the natural light and less of the artificial light as well. So I believe the sun is good. It's not bad. I personally don't believe the sun causes cancer. I'm just like, I have beliefs around this, that it's the skincare products that we put on. Also, the body's attacking itself. The cells are attacking itself. If you're attacking yourself with guilt, fear, shame, self-criticism, judgment, emotional distress, that's not going to be too good for disease as well. So I don't believe that it's just the sun is bad. The sun causes cancer, something we've had around for a long time. I personally don't believe that. And I believe that the sun is good for us and we've just got to use it in little increments or to where we feel our body is best with this. So to trust your gut when it comes to it. So we know how much sun we can get without feeling like we're burning. So trust that and just do little tiny bits at a time, and depending on how much you can feel that your body is actually needing. All right, forgiveness. We have a few more slides to go through now. If anyone wanted to add anything else about the sun, then feel free to put it in. Now, remember, guys, if you do need to leave, that's totally fine. This will all be recorded because I know that this has been going on for almost 2 hours. But hey, I'm not gonna keep time. I'm just gonna keep going, and you guys can stay as long as you need to. The reason why I added this one in last minute is because I thought lately, what the clients and the people that I've been working with, I've been on some really, really powerful calls. And I've spoken to women who have had food intolerances and a really unhealthy relationship with food. And they've had flare-ups with their gut and their eczema and their acne and bloating and all of these sorts of things. And they're wondering why it's there. I'm eating really good and I'm doing all the things and I'm wondering why it's there. This forgiveness part can come under the stress label, the stress umbrella. And I feel like when we're holding on to unforgiveness towards people, that stress can actually cause intolerances and cause flare-ups in your gut. When it comes to forgiveness, this can be really, really hard because we don't have to, it's not allowing the person of what they've done to us. It's not saying that it's okay what you've done, and it's not really, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself. The reason why it's good to forgive people for what they've done to you is to set yourself free, from all of these chains that you have been carrying around and all of this baggage you've been holding on to and bringing into each of your workplaces and your relationships and each of the spaces that you've been putting yourself in when it comes to forgiveness. So what I want to do now is I want to go through a bit of a forgiveness process that I sometimes do with my clients if I feel like they have something come up and they are talking about a person with a lot of hate. And I always ask for permission. Like, this is not something that you want to do with somebody or encourage someone to do if it's going to end up bringing up a lot of stuff and their body's going to go into fight or flight and they may get into panic and anxiety. They may be just not be ready. So with this process here, you don't need to do this with me if you feel that you're not ready for it and you feel like it's not the time for you to be doing this. And if it's going to bring too much up that you're not ready to face and deal with, then you absolutely don't have to do this. But this process here, I'm going to be specifically speaking into fathers, into dads. So if any of you have had any abandonment wounds with your father, or you haven't had a father growing up, or you never knew your dad, or you have any unforgiveness or hatred or bitterness towards him when you think of your dad, then this is going to be really good to go through. You don't need to say anything with this. You just need to, we're just going to close our eyes and take a few deep breaths into this here. Now, also there is, you can do this by yourself. I've done this a few times in the mirror, sitting in front of the mirror, looking at yourself and speaking these words out loud and allowing the motion to flow. Some people, when they forgive, they like to go to the person and say, hey, I forgive you. But for a lot of people, that's too much. That's too much. You don't need to go and talk to that person again. You don't need to have anything to do with this person if you've felt hurt or wronged by this person in the past. You don't need to do that. Especially if they haven't changed. You don't need to force yourself to be around someone or talk to somebody that you're not ready to. So this is for you letting go. This is to allow our body to heal. This is to allow our body to release the guilt and the shame and the hatred and the bitterness that we've been holding on to. This is for ourselves. This isn't to let the other person off the hook and say what they did is okay. This is to let us free so we can allow our bodies to heal and allow our gut to be more at ease. And when it's at ease, it's going to be able to digest food a bit better and not be in such states of inflammation. So I'm gonna put some music on at the same time. Now, it may possibly sound a little bit crackly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try it on my phone first and kind of get someone to type into the chat and see how that sounds, because sometimes Facebook can it can come up crackly, or they can block out the music because of copyright. So let me just get the music and I'll play it through this now, and then just let me know how it sounds on your end. Okay, there's an ad. I don't have the free version of YouTube. Let me just wait for the ad to finish. And yeah, I'll play it for a little bit, and if you guys want to put in the chat and just let me know how it sounds, then that will be much appreciated. 3, 2, 1. All right, it's playing now. So does that sound okay for you guys who are watching and listening? can't hear anything here. Oh, Jade can't hear anything. Can't hear. Okay. That's no music. Okay, that's interesting that I can hear it and you can hear my voice, but the music's not coming through. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to maybe you might be able to hear it a bit better now. Just doing a little bit of trial and error here, because when you're in person you can hear it fine over Zoom. It sometimes just doesn't work. Otherwise I'll try it on my laptop. Maybe it's too loud. No, okay. So, thanks guys for letting me know though. This is really helpful. I'm playing it through my laptop now. Let's try this one last time. Otherwise, if it's not working, I'm just going to speak it without music. It is powerful with music, but if it's not working, then we just won't worry about it. All right, I've shared my screen. One last try. If this doesn't come through, and it is playing now, then I'll just do no music and figure out why another time why this is happening. Liz said no. Oh, that was 2 minutes ago. No music. So if anyone can put in the chat now if it's coming through. I think Jade's typing. Can you hear that, Jade? Feel like it is barely there. Okay. You can't really hear it that well. Okay. Can't hear anything. Okay. All I'm going to do, thank you so much, ladies. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to speak it without music instead, and we can just go through it. I think there's a Zoom setting you need to play. Yeah, I think there's like a share sound option, but I only have share screen. Hey, if anyone technical knows how to share a sound where it can actually come out properly, then that would be good. Otherwise, let's just go through this process here without any music, or maybe you can just put your own like calm music on. Would be good to do this as well. So what I want you to do is close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths. So really, really slow deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. You can put your hand on your heart if you feel that that's good for you to do that. So keep taking those few deep breaths. All right, so you don't need to say anything. You don't need to do anything. Just keep your eyes closed and just visualize or paint a bit of a picture in your head if you like. Dad, Father, I officially want to release and let go of the hurt and the pain that I have been through in the past from you. I forgive you for what you did, for either being absent and not being there, and for what you maybe didn't do. I officially want to let it go now so that I can be free and so that I can stop carrying these chains around everywhere I go. Dad, you did the best that you could with what you knew based on how you were raised. And I'm sorry for the times where I have made you wrong, where I have judged you, where I have made you feel like you weren't enough as a father. I'm sorry for those times. I want to release this now and let go so I can be free. Dad, you raised me the best that you could. And you would have been hurt. You would have gone through things that I may not know that you have gone through, that you haven't spoken about before. And I want to release any hatred, any bitterness, any anger, any rage that I have towards you right now, Dad. I want to be free of this. I no longer want to carry around these chains that I've been holding on to. It's time to let them go, and it's time to be free. And it's time to step into growth and healing. It's time for me to step into the unknown and the uncertainty of what a life of freedom looks and feels like. Dad, I release this pain and this hurt that I've been carrying for a very long time. I release it. I release it. I want to be free. I want to let go. I don't want to carry on this generational cycle and pass it down to my children. Now is the time to break off these curses and break off what has been coming through our line. It stops here with me right now. I'm letting go of the pain and the hurt. I'm freeing myself. I'm taking off those chains. I'm letting go of all of those bags, those heavy suitcases I've been carrying everywhere I've been going, into my workplace, into my relationships, into the way I parent my children, into the way I view life and my confidence and worth. I want to let go of those heavy, heavy suitcases because I'm done carrying them around everywhere I go. I want to experience what my body is capable of when I let go, when I allow freedom and joy and peace and happiness and laughter and fun into my life. I choose to lead with faith over fear. The hurt and the pain will no longer lead my life. I choose to lead with awareness, mindfulness, kindness, love, and freedom. Dad, I thank you for all who you were and all who you are, because this has allowed me to become the strong, bold, courageous person that I am today. I let go, I release, I want to be free of this right now. I forgive you, Dad. I forgive and I let go. Let's take another few more deep breaths with that. Because that was quite powerful for some of you. Emotion may have come up, and I encourage you to feel it. You may have felt angry, frustrated, annoyed. How did this happen? How could someone let me go through this? You allow yourself to feel it. Trapped and stored emotions that are not felt in your body can over time manifest as illness and sickness and disease. And we want to let go and be free so that we can release anything our body is holding on to, whether it be body weight, whether it be guilt, whether it be shame, self-judgment, criticism. We want to release this over our lives and not keep holding on to it and bringing it everywhere we go. Whew. So if anyone wants to add anything into the chat box of how they felt that went for them, then do feel free to share what came up for you. We are moving on to identity shifting now. I really love this topic, and I feel like it's really important to share about. We're not so much talking about the physical being of someone anymore. This isn't a physical thing that you can kind of see and touch. This is a feeling, an internal feeling that someone can't see, only you can feel. That's why this stuff is really powerful, but it can be quite hard for some people to really grasp and get their head around if they've only been taught the physical body and the physical being. So identity shifting, what it is shifting into who you want to become, not who you've been or who you currently are. And what I mean by that is this. As a personal trainer for over 10 years, I saw many people have the before and after photos. They would lose 5, 10, 20 kilos. They would lose the weight, get to the goal. And then you look 6, 12 months from then, it would go back on again, or they were still the same person. Nothing had really shifted. It was more so just a weight loss thing that happened, or they were able to do a few more press-ups. And it was great, but it wasn't anything that was lasting. It was just a quick weight loss goal, a quick get stronger, and then it was back to where I was before. And I feel like the reason that can happen is because we're going for this external thing, but we're not shifting who we are internally. If we don't believe we are worthy and we don't change who we are being, when we're changing our goals and ourselves as we are doing the exercise and wanting to lose the weight and doing the diet and the exercise, we're going to revert back to who we've always been. It's like a rubber band. We're going to go forward, and then we're going to fling back. That's why most people yo-yo diet and they feel like they have 5 steps forward and 10 steps back, because the identity hasn't really shifted in them, and they're still the same person as who they were before. So if you are someone, or you have, say you've lost 20 kilos, the reason why that can sometimes go back on again is because if you don't feel safe to let go of that weight that has protected you for such a long time, it can come back on again to protect you as like a safety mechanism type thing. This isn't in our conscious mind. We're not usually conscious of this or aware of it. Sometimes we might be, but it tends to be in our subconscious mind, and we're not actually aware of this. Here's an example that may trigger some people. So I'll give you a bit of a trigger warning around abuse and rape. If a woman has been abused sexually, or if she has been raped before, when she was a size 8 or a size 10, or when she was smaller, if she gained weight after that situation, it may have happened because when she was smaller, in a size small, her mind now associates that with unsafety. She associates that with having more attention, negative attention, and negative events happening. So a woman, even a man as well, this goes both ways, it's not just women, may try all the diets and may try all the exercise plans and try everything and find that nothing's working, and she's counting all the calories and eating really, really well and going to the gym really, really hard and finding that her weight is not shifting, even though she's doing all the right things. It may be that the subconscious mind is not able to release and let go of that weight because that body fat has kept that person safe for a long time. When that person has been that weight with that extra body fat, they may not have gotten as much attention, and they may not have had anything happen to them then that was that negative that they believe. So if your mind is constantly replaying that negative situation that happened when you were a size small, you're going to keep going back to that size large or extra large if the subconscious mind hasn't released and isn't able to feel safe with being a size small. This is some really, really deep stuff, and this may bring up some triggers and woundings for you when listening to this. And if your heart's racing really fast and you feel unsafe right now, I encourage you to breathe through it and just lean into that uncomfortableness, that unsafety, and lean into it rather than avoid it once again and sweep it under the rug, because we want to actually see what's going on and why we keep yo-yoing and we keep losing the weight and putting it back on, and we keep doing the things and then we get the goal and then we go back, and why we're not actually, we're feeling like we're just going forward and back and not able to maintain this new identity. This is a whole identity shift in your whole being that happens here. This isn't just doing another 10-day challenge. This isn't just going for trying a keto and then a vegan and a paleo and a vegetarian. This isn't just doing that. It's not about that. This is your inner being and who you identify yourself with. If you're going to the gym and lifting weights and in your mind you're thinking, I'm always going to be fat, I'm never good enough, my ex-boyfriend always told me this was going to happen, that I wouldn't be able to lose weight. Remember when you got bullied in high school, you're never going to be able to lose weight. You're always the fat kid. You're always the kid who was picked last. If you're thinking these thoughts as you are doing the diet and the exercise, it doesn't matter how hard you try. It doesn't matter how much willpower, how much discipline, how much motivation, inspiration you have. It does not matter. The rubber band situation is going to happen again. You're going to go forward and you're going to ping back again, because your default programming is set to feeling unworthy, is set to feeling not enough, and is set to replaying the negative situations in the past that have happened over and over again in your mind, like they are still happening in the present now, even though that was in the past and that's been and done. Our brains are not designed for us to succeed. Our brains are actually designed to keep us safe. So our brain will always take us back to safety. It'll always take us back to what's familiar to us, what's known, and what's comfortable. That's why when you go to start a business, or you go live on Instagram, or you go to do something really out there, that's why your brain goes, oh, are you sure you want to do that? Like, remember, you're not that good. You're not like her. Remember, that's not you. You don't do that. You can't have a successful business. Are you serious? You can't make money. You're broke. You don't know what you're talking about. you can't have that body. Your brain will keep going back to that again because that's like your default program, and it wants to keep you safe. Your mind has your best interests at heart, and it loves you, but unfortunately the love that it has for you is something that isn't going to promote your growth, and it isn't going to help you step into who you're wanting to become. It's going to keep you safe and small and not want you to take risks and do anything too big and too out there. So with this identity shift process, what I want you to do now is get out a pen and paper, and I'm going to give you an example here of something that of myself, so that it can make a bit more sense when you go through it. What I want you to do is write on the piece of paper your past. So it may be, I did 10 years ago, 2013, your present, 2023, and your future. So I did 2028, 5 years from now. So you're going to write down these are your conscious, because we're not aware of our subconscious mind, our unconscious mind, we're not aware of it. When we're unconscious, when we're asleep, when we're passed out, we're not aware. So we obviously can't do this sort of stuff. So we need to be conscious and aware of this stuff. So there will be a lot more things on this list that we will only be able to discover if we go and have help from someone else, like a counselor or a therapist or a coach or a mentor, or someone who can look at what's going on from a different perspective and be like, did you know that that's why that's happening? Okay, that's why I procrastinate. That's why I always eat all the chocolate biscuits and feel guilty. You're not always going to be able to figure out why you do things like this unless you go and get help from someone else who knows how to work through this sort of stuff, and you'll be stuck figuring it out by yourself over and over again, wondering why you're not getting any further ahead. So here, what I've done is written down my past, 2013. This is who I identified as. This is who I believed I was. Now, going back up here again, present and future identities and beliefs. The reason why I wrote identity/beliefs is because these can be identities and beliefs as well. They can, basically, we don't want to put like a whole label on it, but identities, beliefs, who I believe I am, my being, you can call it whatever you want. But a belief is a thought that's been conditioned over time. So that's what a belief is. So when we're looking here at these ones here, this is who I identified as. In 2013, I was like, I'm a gymnast, I'm a coach. I also had a huge belief in an identity. If people disagreed with me, I didn't like you. I didn't like you. I didn't want to really, I didn't like you because I didn't know what to do or how to deal with it if you didn't like me. Fit, pharmacy pills gal. So I used to show people my drawer of medication and be like, look at me, like I'm on all of these different medications. Like, wow, it's fire out, look at them in a way that's like, wow, rather than, that was me. I identified as a pharmacy pills gal. Look at all my different pills. Let me see if I can get even more different types. Flexible, angry. I knew I was angry, very angry at the world, very angry at people. I didn't really understand what was going on, because it was in my subconscious mind of why I was so angry and how I got all of my gut issues come up. And I also had a belief that I could eat anything I liked and not gain weight, not get fat. Diet doesn't matter, it's exercise that does. I also believed that I can't afford healthy food, which means that I was buying the vegetable oil and the canola oil because it was cheaper, because I had a belief that I can't afford healthy food. I was traveling. I was going over to Australia. I was buying shoes and clothes and makeup and dresses. I had money. It wasn't that I didn't have money. It's just that I didn't find value in healthy food. So that's something that's a really good point there to really think about. If you're telling yourself I can't afford healthy food or I can't afford to be healthy, then think of a different story you can tell yourself instead. Because if you can't afford it, then are you buying other things as well instead? Is it just that you don't value it and you don't see a payoff in it? That's why that's happening. And also I believed that it was up to other people to make me happy. I was a party bus trick queen. I don't need alcohol to have fun, and I can be around people who drink. So that was my past identities there. present, this is me, who I identify as right now. I identify as a wife, as a mother. I'm driven. I love intuitive eating. I'm a personal development queen. Also back pain. I know that I get back pain, and that's something that I'm really on a journey with to discover how that's come about. And I believe it's not just a physical thing. I've done 10 years of massage and chiropractors and strengthening the back and stretching, and I feel like it's an emotional thing. It's a nervous system thing. Our back is our nervous system. Our eyes, our brain, our spinal cord, our nerves, our nervous system is our back. So I believe it's trapped emotion. So that's why I'm on the journey now to really work through that, because I now believe it can be healed, whereas I didn't used to before. I just put up with it. So abundant, I now find time, make time and find money for my health. I also identify as being medication free, which means that if there's an option that comes up of taking medication, because my identity is set in I don't take medication, it's very, very unlikely that I'm ever going to take it unless I, for life-saving reasons, or I've just come out of surgery or something. I'm not going to just go and take pharmaceuticals like I used to back here, because that was my identity. I'm a pharmacy pills gal. So it's really hard to say no to pharmaceuticals if I'm identifying as that's who I am. Whereas here, I don't. So it's going to be really hard for me to take pharmaceuticals now. I'm very, very cautious of it. And also, I don't wear makeup often. That's like something that I identify as, because I just have no desire to wear it. It's not often. I wear it maybe a couple times a month, once a month. It's just not a desire for me. So that's an identity of mine right now. But whereas this in the future, it might change. Maybe I might like wearing makeup every day. That's fine if I decide to do that. But right now, this is my identity. Now for the future, and I want you guys writing this down as well, so you can get really clear. You can make this about health, about fitness, about money, about your relationship. You can make it about anything that you want, any area in life. But what we're trying to do is see how we can step into the future rather than being the present in the past, because we want to step into who we're wanting to be in order to be that person, and how we can embody that person. So this is future Anna. Now here, this is really broad, millionaire mindset. It's like, what does that even mean? I have a coach helping me with that. I want to be a millionaire, but I don't exactly know every single step for that. So I'm getting help with that, because I can't do that on my own. I won't be able to figure that out on my own. I get help and coaching and supporting and support and training for that there, so that I can learn to step into that identity. Releasing trapped emotions. So I believe by then I'll be able to release the emotions and not store them in my body and not have this back pain. Also attracting, not chasing. Like I want to let go of the control and the need to chase, and just allowing and being more. World traveler, rental properties, strong, passionate marriage, mum of 4. So I definitely want to have more kids. Healed back pain, emotionally aware, is more in my heart more than my head, and spiritually strong. So what I want you guys to do now is to go through these here, and you can share anything in the chat that you want to. Just reading from Jade here. That's totally fine if you need to go. You're so welcome. The recording is here, guys. If you do need to go, I'm just going to keep going anyway. The recording will be here for another time. If you need to, because I'm going to finish this presentation, even though it's super long. I know I was going to do it in sections, part 1, part 2, but I thought I'll just do the whole thing at once, and people can always go back to it when they want. Okay, so writing down these here, past, present, future. Now we're looking at how can I step into that future person there. Now there's a date there, but it doesn't have to be 5 years away. I can heal my back pain before 5 years. I can be more of these things here before 5 years. I can mum of 4. Oh, that's going to be popping them out pretty fast, but I definitely don't want to boom, have a bit of a break. But I mean, hey, it could happen. Who knows? The time isn't always going to be relevant when it comes to this here. I just put it there just so you can think of future. But I want you to think of now, how can I step into this future version of me now? What do I need to do now to step into these things in my present? Not wait for them, A lot of people say, oh, I'll wait until I have more money and then I'll work on my gut health. I'll wait until I have more time and then I'll wait. And then when do you actually have everything all in alignment? You kind of don't. Like, life will throw you all sorts of curveballs, and you've got to figure it out as you go along amongst the mess and the chaos. So how can you step into these things now rather than wait for them? So that's the identity and the belief shift here. We're going to do a bit of a visualization now, okay? We've just got this to go, and then we've got the final part of the Renewing the Mind and Body program, and then we are all finished. So we have no music for this, okay? I'm going to have music on a little bit quieter because I definitely need to have a bit of music on when I'm speaking these words, because otherwise it can feel a bit off. So we're going to do a visualization, and this is going to be specifically around food and eating and removing and releasing guilt from the way that you are eating. So what I want you to do now, take a few deep breaths and bring the body back to a state of feeling calm again. Calm, and we're getting the oxygen flowing. You can close your eyes. If you want to put your hand on your heart, you can relax. You can lie down or sit down anywhere if you need to. Just relax. All right, let's go. I want you to imagine you've just woken up. You've just gotten out of bed. Your feet have hit the floor and you're ready to start the day. You feel energized. You feel incredible. You feel on top of the world. You're at optimal health. You feel so ready to start the day. You walk over to the mirror. You look at yourself in the mirror and you say to yourself, man, I'm glowing. Just look at me glow. I'm so proud of myself and my body. Look at my incredible body. My body is a powerhouse. It is amazing. And you put your arms around yourself and you give your body a hug and you thank it for bringing you here today. And you walk down your hallway now. And as you make your way to the lounge, you sit down and you have a look outside and you acknowledge the nature, the trees, the beautiful colors. You are in such gratitude and awe of nature and how beautiful it is, and your view that you get to look at right now. It is just stunning. And as you do that, you are taking a sip of your favorite drink. It's breakfast time and you are feeling how it feels for that drink to go down your throat, whether it be a hot drink or a cold drink. You are so present with that drink right now. And it doesn't matter what it is. You are loving it. You also have in front of you your favorite breakfast. And you look at your favorite breakfast with such gratitude and excitement that you get to eat this amazing meal. And as the smell of this breakfast fills the room You soak it all in. You breathe it in. And you are just looking forward to eating this breakfast in front of you. And as you take every bite of this breakfast, you're once again in such gratitude for your body, your digestive system being able to digest this food without you even needing to do anything. Your body is working for you and breaking down everything, and your body is absolutely incredible. It is amazing and wonderfully made. And it doesn't matter what your breakfast is that you have chosen to eat. You're eating it without guilt, without shame. It doesn't matter if it's healthy, if it's junk food, if it's high calorie, low calorie, high fat, protein, carb. It doesn't matter, because you are so mindful with your breakfast right now, and you are loving every single bite that you are taking as you look outside at the beautiful nature at the same time, in such amazement for being here in life right now in this moment. And as you go about your day, you start coming closer to lunchtime and you get excited. You are so excited for lunch, because your lunch that you get to eat, it's fun. It's joyful. It's a happy and fulfilling lunch. And as you eat that lunch and being mindful with every bite, just full joy, full pleasure, no guilt, no shame. You're not wronging yourself for what you have consciously decided to eat for your lunch today. And as you chew the food, digest it, it goes through your amazing digestive system once again and does everything that it needs to without you even needing to think about it or do anything. And you are just amazed by that. And you carry on about your day. It's now 3 p.m. There are no energy slumps. There are no feeling low, wishing the day would go by, staring at the clock, wondering when it's going to be over. There's none of that. You are fully present in this moment, loving and enjoying and embracing every moment of this day. Full health, feeling incredible, feeling on top of the world, feeling unstoppable, and feeling so grateful for being alive. And as you get closer towards dinner time, you can either imagine yourself preparing and cooking a dinner yourself if you love cooking, or you can imagine somebody else doing it for you. Whatever you decide. And as that food is being prepared, you have your arms out wide and you are spinning around and you are just like, what even is my life? I am so grateful to be here right now. This is beautiful. How amazing am I here? How amazing is it to be here right now? And you can smell your dinner cooking. You can smell the aroma of your senses just bursting with excitement. And now your dinner is ready. And as you sit down with your food in front of you, it's your favorite meal. Your dinner is that meal that you would eat if you could only eat one meal again. and you are so happy about this meal. We are not focused on the calories and the numbers and the portions and is this good, is this bad? We're fully mindful and present with this meal right now, no matter what it is, no matter what you choose to eat. There's full presence and full gratitude and happiness with this meal right now. And as you take every bite of that meal, you thank your digestive system for being able to digest that delicious food you have chosen to eat with no guilt, no shame, no self-judgment. We're not judging ourselves for what we chose to eat. We consciously chose it, and we fully back ourselves and our decisions for choosing our favorite meal. And with every bite, you're soaking in just the blessings of life and being alive and how fun and joyful food can be. And now you've finished your dinner. You get to choose whether you want to have dessert or not. And that is completely up to you. The decision isn't based on calories or what anyone else is doing, or if you're bad or sticking to your diet. The decision is based on what your body feels like, and you're listening to your hunger cues. And your hunger cues will tell you whether you're full, whether you're hungry, whether you feel like something or not. And that decision you make to eat dessert is a mindful one. Whether you choose fruit or ice cream or cake, a homemade whole food brownie or a store-bought brownie, it doesn't matter, because we're once again going to eat this meal with joy and gratitude and fun and pleasure. And we're going to let go of any expectations of how eating needs to be. There are no rules. There are no rules with it here. You can decide to do it however you like. And as you smell that beautiful dessert, if you chose to eat it, if you chose to eat it, as you smell that beautiful dessert, you're soaking in. You're soaking it all in and breathing in just the goodness of it. And you're so grateful that you get to decide to choose whether you want this dessert or not. It's not right or wrong, no matter what you chose. We don't need to make a story or a meaning out of it. It was a decision that was made. That's it. Doesn't mean anything. And as you take every bite of that dessert, that luxurious dessert you have chosen, you're enjoying it and you're loving it and you're feeling in amazement and joy for your body, once again being able to digest and process everything that you have given it. It will nourish your body and nourish your soul and feed you and give you life. And as you finish that last bite of your dessert, you carry on with your evening, and then at the end of the night, as you lie in bed, just feel the pillow underneath your head and feel your body relaxing and sinking into the bed, and feeling that you have had the most incredible day ever, and it was filled with gratitude and love and joy and peace and fun and laughter and excitement. And you did not attach guilt to anything that you ate. And as you feel your body relax and your eyes close and you start to go into a state of unconsciousness, as you fall asleep knowing that every decision you made that day was the right one for you. Take another few more deep breaths just to let this sink and land. All right. Does anyone want to share in the chat or in the Facebook group how that went for them, how they felt doing that visualization? I'd love to know. This now leads us into, oopsies, the final part. This is the final part. See, we're not attached to time. We're not attached to how things should be. There are no expectations. We're letting go and being. This here is my Renewing the Mind and Body program. And if you feel called, I would love to share this with you and what it may be able to do for you. So the outcome of this is to create an emotionally healthy relationship with food so you can heal your gut, have full self-trust and freedom around food and your decisions. It's a 4-month program, minimum 4 months, and we go through these 14 modules here. These modules are at your own pace, these ones, and there's a Facebook group with a guide section, and there are video modules for each of these topics here that we go through. If anyone has any questions about any of these, want to know a little bit more about this, then let me know. This here is a beautiful testimony from Rachel. Rachel started working with me in this program last year and worked with me for, it was about 6 months. And I barely even recognize her anymore. I'm like, who is this woman? You are not the same woman I knew when you first started. Rachel has completely changed and completely shifted mind, body, and soul. She's gone from feeling stressed and anxious about food to making changes and choices that support and feel good to her and her body. She doesn't wrong herself or attach guilt or judgment or fear to her decisions that she makes anymore. And I'm so proud of her. Rachel has had the most incredible results. She has had a journey of what she has openly shared before about being on antidepressants and suffering from anxiety as well. And if you see her today, you're like, I barely even, like, you have just shifted and grown so much. She is incredible. She was before. She always has been, and she is now. It's just now she's more connected to her body. That's what this is. That's what this is. That she's more connected to her body more than ever before. And it's not like before she was wrong or bad or a mess or failing. It was just she was on a journey to discover. She was on a self-discovery journey to finding herself. She's already been there this whole time. She never needed to find who she was outside of her. She had it within her. And she's had the most incredible results. And Rachel is now with me in the Juice Plus business. So I talked about the Juice Plus products before, a little bit earlier on, and there is also a business side of it as well. So Rachel is a health coach and helping me inspire the mission of healthy living. I don't like saying she's helping me. No, she's not helping me. We're doing this together. We're equal. We're side by side. That's how it is. We're side by side doing this together, inspiring and sharing this mission of healthy living. And I am so honored to have had Rachel as one of my first clients that I had in this program, and now we work together in the incredible Juice Plus business together, and it's amazing. So that's a testimonial from Rachel from going through the Renewing the Mind and Body program. Now let's go into a bit more details of what it involves and the investment of it. So We have a weekly women's group, and the Zoom calls are Mondays at 7:30. There will also be a one-on-one call with me in your first week just to help you get started. There's messenger support, so you can message me for help and support when you like, and I'll get back to you within 48 hours if anything comes up for you during the week, so you don't have to wait till the call to get support. There's Facebook group support and accountability as well. So every week we have a thing where we put in our a post where we put in our intentions, and we also go over what we are where we're moving towards in a bit of a reflection process. And you can also ask any questions in the Facebook group as well. So self-paced modules, just like those ones that I showed you before, the 14 modules, that's the self-paced part. And then also there are extra one-on-one calls when needed. In this program here, I really love to give. And the women in this program, if they need any extra support or extra help, and they're struggling a bit more, I jump on another call with them. I'm here to help and serve and help women, their bodies to heal, and whatever that looks like for them. Then we basically go through and remove the things that are holding them back and what's going on in their body and with their symptoms. And if they need extra help, then I jump on extra calls if they're needing that. So basically that's the program there. If you are wanting a normal one-off Zoom call, would be $250 for 90 minutes. Or if you live in Christchurch, you can come in and have it in person as well. So with this program here, there's a lot of extra value added in where you don't have to have that extra $250 for the extra calls. So this is the investment. It's $3,300, so $800 per month for 4 months. And if there's a special offer, so $700 per month. So I've taken off $100 a month, or there's a pay in full special there, which ends tomorrow. It says we start Monday because this was on Saturday that I did this. And basically this is going to end tomorrow. So if you feel called to doing this with me, then got to let me know by tomorrow, Wednesday, to get this offer of pay in full or the $700 a month for this here. And also because I believe that vitamins and supplements can play a part in healing, and quality is key, then the Juice Plus fruit, veggie and berry capsules are also going to be a part of this program as well. And the investment for that is $132 a month for 4 months. They also come with free kids gummies as well. So if you have a child or a niece or a nephew, grandchild, or you just know of a child, maybe that's not related to you, a neighbor or someone, you can receive free fruit and veggie gummies for them as well with that investment there. Awesome. So I've got 2 more testimonials that I want to share with you. This is lovely Tamara, and Tamara worked with me last year. And Tamara came in to the course just eating super well, feeling like she is doing all the right things and wondering why her symptoms are still present. She had been to naturopaths and being told to cut out gluten and dairy, and had been doing that for 8 months and wondering why her symptoms were still present in her body. And we went through the mindset and the emotional stuff and worked on her inner being, not just on her diet, and worked on cutting out more things and restriction. We worked on what's going on with how she's viewing food, and her body started to heal. She started to have a more healthy relationship with food. We introduced a little amount of gluten and dairy into her diet, just so that she could feel safe with it and feel okay having little amounts of that in her diet and not fear it. And her body, she got amazing results. She started to heal and started building a healthy relationship with food, which was incredible. So that was Tamara. That was an amazing. I love clients like this. Just amazing. She made me feel so excited about everything that I do. The last testimonial is from the beautiful Susanna. Susanna had, the inflammation and high blood pressure and allergies and symptoms come up. And we worked through what's going on with her relationship with food and other areas in life as well, taking a holistic approach. Where's the stress coming up from? What area in life is it happening in most? And what can we do about it? How can we let go? How can we not be battling ourselves and having resistance and tension come up? Because when you have tension, what's the medical term for high blood pressure? Hypertension. You have tension. When there's tension in your life, then that can promote the body to have sickness in it. So if we release the tension, release the resistance, the stress, if we get the mind and the body on board and working with each other and not feeling like we need to battle ourselves constantly and be in it's like often when I find people are sick or ill, constantly stressed, it's because we're getting our army out and we're trying to battle ourselves and we're trying to battle and we're trying to do things right and get it all right and get it all perfect. And I'm annoyed that person said that and they said that and they should be doing that. And we're fighting everyone and fighting ourselves. What if you don't need to fight anything? What if there's nothing for you to fight? You just let go and be. Sounds scary, right? But what if there is literally nothing you need to battle? You don't need to fight to get things right and be perfect, and let that go and your body will be free. And I love with Susanna here, she said, I lost 10 kilos without even trying. We didn't even talk about weight. We didn't even weigh her and measure her. I spent 10 years as a personal trainer, weighing and measuring people. As soon as I'd see them, get you on the scales, let me get my tape measure out. I'll weigh you, measure you, I'll take photos of you. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I think it's how you track progress. If you want to do that, that's great. And I would still do that at times. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's more so, there's so much more to a person than just their physical being and their weight and their measurements and their photos. Susanna lost 10 kilos without even trying because we removed fear and guilt and we released stress and tension from her life. We helped make her self-care, the me time, a priority. As a mama, here's Susanna here with their beautiful little boy. Susanna's a mama. This me time here for some mums are just non-existent because mamas are being everywhere and doing everything for everyone else and forgetting about themselves, and then think that that's just how life is meant to be. Exhausting, tiring, draining, sick, unhealthy, and they lose themselves along the process. It doesn't have to be like that. If you're a mum and you believe that that's how life is and you don't see it's a belief, it doesn't have to be your truth. I would question it and think, what is the truth? Why am I believing that everyone else has to come before me? Everyone else's needs comes before me. Where did I get that from? Where did I get that belief from? And how can I think about it in a different way? If you were raised with a mum who did everything for everyone else, was a people pleaser, and you took that on as yourself, you've got to think about that and question that and think, do I want to carry this on for my kids and show them that I don't really matter as much? To show your kids that my needs are, yes, sort of there sometimes, but they don't really matter as long as you're okay. I don't need to be okay. Do we want to raise our kids in that kind of environment, or do we want to show them that mama matters, mum is important, mum's health, mum's sleep, mum's well-being, her mental and emotional well-being is important and it's a priority? This me time here, if you're a mum watching this right now, I don't want to shit on you and say you should do this, because it's up to you. You don't have to, but I honestly believe that mums, you've got to be making time for yourself. You've got to be having time for you. Don't wait till the kids grow up. Don't wait until the kids are older, until they leave, that you don't need to wait for that. Doesn't happen when you have more money, when you have more time. It happens when you make a decision that it needs to happen right now. And it's been going on for too long, of everyone else's needs being put first and your own have been pushed back. It doesn't need to be like that. So mamas, find me time. If you're overwhelmed with it, you're probably thinking of a whole spa day, going out for the weekend, who's going to have my kids. If it's overwhelming, what's something really small you can do? Really, really small. Break it down. Is it 5 minutes? Is it something really little? Start small. That me time is important. Susanna needed that me time in order to release that 10 kilos without trying. Sometimes when we try, we're actually going backwards. Sometimes when we were try hard, we were trying so hard and doing the things and doing the exercise and doing the eating, and I'm doing, and we're trying, your body's in such a high state of tension that it's not going to release much, and you're going to stay the same if you're trying. Depends on what the context is. Sometimes you do need to try. It depends on what it is. This isn't a universal thing. But what I'm saying here in the context of this is that sometimes you've got to let go of trying and just allow and let go and just be and release and relax. Not need to have things perfect or a certain way. Not fighting your reality. Not needing to be somewhere in life than where you currently are right now. When you let go of that, you can have freedom and you can have peace, joy, and your life will completely change. And then the people around you, it will change them as well, and it will change your kids. I personally believe that the best way we can, I was going to say change our kids, but we don't want to change them. Thinking of a better way of saying it. The best way that we can raise, I guess, healthy kids is when we go first, is when we lead by example and we show them what it looks like. Not tell them what it looks like and then do something else for ourselves. It's when we lead and we show them. This is I'm going to be a healthy mama. This is what it is. Kids don't follow what you say you're going to do. They follow who you're being, and they follow who you are being, not what you say that you're going to do. So this Susanna is she's amazing. I'm just blown away with her results that she got in the program, and I'm so grateful for her. So I'm going to end this here. 3 hours of this presentation, 3 hours. Not one regret for doing a 3-hour presentation. This is obviously what was needed. We had conversation, we had people in the chat box talking. I loved it. I enjoyed it so much. 10:30, almost 10:30 here at night. And I'm going to go to bed feeling full, like fulfilled and loved and complete and whole for bringing this to you guys. I feel amazing. I'm so glad that you guys were here to witness this and watch and share and embrace me sharing this with you. So thank you so much. I would love it if you comment, ask questions, message me anything that's come up along the way. Let me know. Thank you so much we've still got Liz here on the Zoom call. Oh my goodness, Liz, she's been here for 3 hours. Wow. Everyone else that has gone, if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching right to the end. I appreciate you all, and I am just so honored. Thank you.